And we are going live on YouTube as well.
Can I share my screen? I think so.
Sure, sure.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks.
Let me, once we get started, we will start recording.
Yeah. In the meanwhile, it's like lighting the lamp. So before we start any auspicious event, right? It's a good practice to have the lamp, right? So let's treat that. We are virtually doing that, and yeah, let's
And
give
with
us
Diwali around the corner, yes.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, that's one of the reasons behind organizing this meetup 1 week before, so that people can join and we can have a very good traction. Yeah. Actually, it's October 24th where we started a group last year, and we have completed 1 year. So as we have festival days around the corner, we have planned it 1 week before. So I think, Satish, you want to pick up so that we can.
Sure. We'll get started with recording. Yes, you can go ahead.
All right. Thanks everyone who are being part of this annual meet. I know you are all part of the SS Agile Gurus community in one form or the other, either in the form of WhatsApp groups or Telegram groups, where we have eventually scaled up over a period of time. So just want to start with introducing ourselves. This is Sharath Atsmili. I've been into project management space for the past 17 years, more than 17 years. And I worked with good amount of companies in the present and in the past. Currently, I'm working with HDFC Ergo as an agile coach. And I have overall more than 9 years of experience into agile space, where I started working as a buddy scrum master. Eventually, I have grown as a senior scrum master. Then I worked in bits and pieces as an agile coach. Then I worked as a full-time agile coach. And I had little bit of hands into scaled agile framework also when I worked in one of the organizations. I do train internally. So far, I have trained more than 1,000 folks internally in the organizations. And coming to external trainings, recently, which I have started working on the external trainings, but not much into that space. But internally, I've been into trainings for a long time, right? So that's a little bit about me. And Satish, you quickly want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Satish. I have almost 16 plus years of experience and 7 to 8 years of experience in the agile space, and mostly towards the scaled agile implementation. That is what my specialization is. And as a SPC, a Safe Program Consultant, I trained almost 1,600 folks within the organization, various scale agile certifications. That is as part of the internal organization perspective. And as part of the community, yes, we know, like part of various groups, we do a lot of open sessions and community activities and all those things. And currently I'm working towards my ICF PCC credentials.
Great.
That's a small brief intro about me.
Yeah, your certifications and your involvement in the community speaks about yourself, Satish. So usually what we recommend people is, based on the need of the hour, you plan your certifications accordingly so that it will help you move up the ladder, right? That is what we advise people usually. So let's move forward. So today we have a little agenda which we want to share with you folks, because there are new folks who have joined our groups. There are folks who have been there since long time, both in our WhatsApp and Telegram groups, right? We have more than 10,000 people who are part of all these groups as of today, both active and passive. People used to be active at times, and people are passive sometimes, depending on their schedule and all. So just want to start off with our journey, how it started in SS Agile Gurus. By the way, SS means Satish and Sharat. That's how we have built this group. I mean, that brand name. So initially, we were talking about, we have been part of different groups, and there used to be some vacuum which we both observed. Sorry, I got throat infection, which we observed. And during 2021 I mean, mid of 2021, where we observed that people have been utilizing the group, but still there is some vacuum with respect to how the information is shared, right? There is a lot of information that is floating around us, but people sometimes they know or they don't know, because we have different categories of people join the groups, right? People who don't know about agility at all, they are being pretty new to the groups, right? And people who have little bit understanding, but they don't know the practical experience. People who have little bit of experience, but still they want to explore at length, but they don't have that kind of mentoring, or that kind of experience from their side. And there are experienced folks who join and want to share their thoughts with the community, right? So there are different levels of people who join and try to leverage the groups. So in that context, what we observed is, okay, information is floating around, it is scattered across, but not reaching the people in the right way, right? That's how we started our journey, having those WhatsApp groups in place, where we started sharing one extensive material, which you can see, agile materials, one Excel sheet that's almost equal to 1,000 sharings in all groups, right? Why I claim that is, prepared by me and Satish. So we thought, what are the basic focus that people need to have when they are part of any organization, or part of any groups or any interviews, if they want to prepare. So basically, we thought like people need to have basic understanding of Scrum, or the scope, what are the different rules that we have in Scrum, then about Agile coaching, then people need to have good amount of understanding on the transformations, right? Then about Kanban, Lean, then about DevOps, right? Then people mostly talk about uh, AWS, right? All those different areas which are covered across, but the information is scattered, and people don't know which video or which blog I need to search so that I can get the immediate information, and we can bank on that, right? And succeed ourselves. So that is where it triggered, and we started inputting all in that single Excel sheet, where it really helps everyone, right? And that mammoth Excel sheet is still getting shared across the groups. Thanks to everyone. People have shared a lot of comments from this side that this Excel sheet is really being helpful for them, and they are utilizing on a day-to-day basis. Having said that, that is only the start. That was the beginning in 2021 when we started this group. After that, we have shared a number of documents, or a number of blogs, or a number of things that we have available with us, and which are in public domain. Just as a disclaimer, which are in public domain, we started sharing. Right. Not only along with that, yeah, that's how it started. And when I was about to start these groups, I've also reached a couple of other people where they smoothly denied because of some XYZ reasons. But there is only one person who stood with me and said that, sir, let's go ahead. Let's execute our plan. That's how the engagement between me and Satish has started, and it has reached to a certain stage till date. So on behalf of everyone and behalf of me, I want to thank Satish for being with me, and going to be with me all the time, right? Thanks, Satish, for that. And not only in terms of sharing the material and all, in terms of addressing people queries, you need to have patience. I don't know, people say that I have a good amount of patience in teaching, coaching, training, and addressing people queries, but I have observed double patience in Satish. It's not that because we are on this forum and we have everyone there, I'm boasting about him. We need to really talk about some good qualities of a leader, right? So that's what I observed in him. Any group, he's involved in 20, 30 groups, patiently, every question answered by the people, he patiently answers with all the minute level details that he has. So that is the power of Satish. And good that he has been part of these groups. So that is how our journey went till date, and hope we are going to make are going to create a lot of difference in coming future, and we have a lot of plans for that. And a couple of initiatives we are going to call out in this group, in this session. And second thing is about Telegram and WhatsApp group updates, right? So nowadays, thanks to Telegram and WhatsApp, right? Really, otherwise you would not have in global groups in such a short span of time, right? It's too very, very difficult. So thanks to Telegram and WhatsApp. And there is good amount of information that we share in WhatsApp group and in Telegram group also at times. But because we are also working employees, right? And we have short period of time. So it is difficult for us to sync between both WhatsApp and Telegram to ensure everyone is getting those updates. So that is where we are calling out the volunteers. We called out, I think 1 month back, couple of people have turned up, but still, as part of the community, I request most of you people to come forward. Let's volunteer ourselves, right? And ensure that we create some difference in the life of everyone, right? So there is one QR code that you see on the right side of the screen. You can scan that QR code if you want to volunteer, or if you want to share some feedback. Please feel free to scan that QR code. Once you scan that, you will get a link for feedback. You have to click on that link. Then only that feedback survey will get open for you. Okay. So that is one area where we are looking for volunteers. And the next thing is with respect to speakers, right? I have seen a good amount of speakers who have projected themselves on large platforms. But as of today, we don't have any small platforms because we are starting it initially. We are just about 1 year, about to have a long journey. So people also seek some small platforms where they can explore themselves as a very, very good speakers, right? So that is how we have started this SS Agile Gurus platform for speakers also. I think we all already had some 6 sessions, right, Satish? 5, 6 sessions, around
Seven sessions.
7 sessions. So 7 sessions we already had, and when we called out for speakers, thanks to those 7 speakers on this platform, on behalf of this platform, they immediately accepted without any second thought. They immediately accepted and want to explore their capabilities over there, and the videos are also there in YouTube, handy with you folks. So I want everyone to utilize this platform. We are calling out in WhatsApp and Telegram groups. If anyone is interested, please come back to us and explore your potential. You can speak on any topic. There is no restriction, and 1 hour topic, anything that you can share your information with other groups, right? So Satish, you want to talk anything more on that speakers part?
Speakers part, we are good, Sharath. You covered all the topic.
Yeah. So please feel free to join our speakers group and explore yourself, where this is one platform which will give very good exposure and will pave way for you to become a very good speaker also. And that information also will be shared along with the larger groups, right? So you'll get that traction, right? So let's utilize these groups. And with respect to the materials, what are the materials, training material? I can't say training materials, agile materials, right? What are the agile materials that we are sharing across in our groups or other groups? Those are almost taken from public only. here and there, some documents which are shared from other groups might misfire, where people claiming that you have shared our private profile or private documents. Other than that, largely whatever that is there in the public domain, we are sharing only those materials. And we have a dedicated Telegram group for that, where we are sharing all those materials, and there are a good amount of folks who are already utilizing. So if you are not already part of those groups, please ensure you join there and leverage those materials. And along with the Excel sheet which we are sharing. See, in the Excel sheet which I have shared, let me showcase with you people for a minute. This is the Excel sheet which I have been talking about. If you're talking about the first one, like Krishnamurti Pammi videos, he himself has made around 20 to 30 videos on Agile space with respect to different areas like, estimations or capacity planning, or we can talk about what about Scrum, we can talk about.
Sharath, we are still
Yeah,
seeing the PPT. I'm not sure about others.
is
Yeah,
it?
we couldn't see the Excel sheet.
Yeah, Excel sheet is not visible.
How about now?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not
let
yet.
me let me reshare. Let me stop sharing. Start sharing. How about now?
Yes.
Yes, we can
Yes,
see.
Yes.
it is.
Yeah. So lots of people take this as, from a layman's perspective, I'm saying, right? Lots of people treat this as one of the Excel sheet which they can utilize, but they can utilize to 1,000% if they really look into it, right? Krishnamurti Pammi himself has made 20 to 30 videos with respect to Agile, which I was talking about from various perspectives, right? Then Agile Digest, Neeladri Mahapatra, then Sunan Sharma, no need to talk about him, right? He has made extensively vast number of videos with respect to Agile trainings or with respect to DevOps or with respect to interviews, right? So all these, see, information is scattered around us, but some people know and some people don't know. This is just a repository which will help you to reach that, right? Then we have good amount of video links about Scrum, Kanban, PSM, right? Then about transformation, right? Then we have videos in DevOps, Agile coaching, of course, design a little lesser. Then scaled Agile, there are good amount of videos. So it's almost equal to 1,000 shares, and how you leverage, it's up to you, right? Just want to give a gist of it, of how we are trying to make impact in the lives of different people, right? So let me try to get back to my screen again. Right? Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, Sharath.
Yes.
The PPT. Yeah, able.
Right. So that is all about materials. So what usually we request you people also is to spend some time in these groups. If you have any valid material that you can share, maybe your small cheat sheet that might make difference in the life of other people, right? In terms of interview preparation or something else. They want to have some template with respect to retrospectives, and you share that template, a draft template. Probably that might help them to quickly kick off their retrospective using the template. Right? A small thing that you share will make a lot of difference. So please ensure you actively participate in the groups and share those materials. And another thing is with respect to the trainers information. Recently we have started, we have started floating long back with respect to authorized trainers that you have in place as of today. Of course, with respect to our collaboration with the trainers and terms, we have been publishing these trainers information. Absolutely, we don't have any kind of offside relation or anything with them, monetary or anything. We are absolutely publishing for the benefit of the community only. There is nothing more than that, right? So having said that, we are publishing those authorized trainers information like Nanda Lankapalli or Kuti sir or Vijay Bandar or Suresh, or there are good amount of other trainers we have, right? So we have been publishing so that those are authorized trainers, and taking training from them, you have zero risk, right? You can go with your blind eyes, and whatever training that you want to choose, you can choose those. This is in the best interest of the community, because there are lots of things which I have heard in this past 1 year, where people blindly go to some person, or who I'm not saying everyone, few people who attract them with demos or something else or whatever, giving a rosy picture. And when they exactly jump into the training, there is least information that they are getting. So these are the kind of offline calls which I got from most of the people, and they lost so much amount because of that. That's why I've been floating this awareness message also across all groups, like what you need to check if you want to go with a particular trainer, right? Today, LinkedIn is common, if you agree or not, even though if they don't have a paid account, at least they can have a free account, right? LinkedIn is also gives us a free account. Of course, if not LinkedIn, maybe some other profile, standard profile platform, where you can ask the basic information about the trainer's profile, right? And you can check how much experience he or she has in the past, any good testimonials or any good feedback. And there are good amount of 5 to 10 points which I've shared in that alert message. So this is in the best interest of the community, and that is how you can help yourself choose the right trainer. So don't fall yourself into the traps of false trainers and lose your money. This is one thing which I want to strongly call out each and everyone. I know here there are very few people joined, but if you scatter this information across, probably hundreds of people get saved from these kind of clutches, right? So that is one thing with respect to the trainings. Um, with respect to the meetups, this is our first annual meetup, where we thought of sharing from a broader perspective with all the audience. And we are planning to have quarterly meetups also, which is in cards. So we'll plan accordingly and share invites with everyone. And the rest of the items, I want Satish to share from his perspective. Okay, Satish, you want to take it from here?
Sure. Thanks, Sharat. So thanks for sharing the details and setting the context. So a couple of folks reached out on the chat regarding the Telegram group, WhatsApp group. I shared the links. If in case you're not part of the groups, you can join. And the materials, also a couple of comments we got on the chat. So I shared a link of the Google Drive. Right now, it is only view only access to ensure it is not it is being used properly. So once we get streamline everything, we will share the access. We will share the access open to our group members. So until then, we can view the materials in the Google Drive, and you can use it, or we will once again share it in the WhatsApp groups and the Telegram groups. Or we have a Agile materials Telegram group. I will share that link as well, where you can go back and take a look at the previously shared documents as well. Okay, that is about the materials and the groups perspective. So coming up to the PO Connect, the weekly PO Connect, Satish Wingulkar, we have one more excellent coach who is very well versed with the product and all the aspects. So he took the lead and he started the weekly Tuesday night 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. IST weekly PO Connect. So last week we had one session already. So every Tuesday we will have the session. We will share the link on the WhatsApp and Telegram groups. Whoever is interested, you can take part in that discussion. Either you are already playing the role of product owner, product management, or you are planning to move into that role. Make use of that sessions. And again, these are all the open sessions which we are doing. So make use of that. Then the next planned activity is the weekly Scrum Master and Agile Coach Connect. We are still finalizing on the date and the time because of various other our day-to-day activities and other things coming up. Most probably we might be having it on the Thursday evenings. We will, once it is finalized, we will schedule and we will share the link and the details with the broader group. And external groups, whenever some external groups are coming up, we are again making sure the way how the trainer information is being cross-checked. We are making sure the actional groups information is also cross-checked, and making sure wherever we see it is a benefit for everyone, we are opening up the forum and we are making sure the details of the actional groups are being shared. And if in case any of you feel any other technical groups, or it could be anything, right, which might be beneficial for the group members, yes, we can share it, and you can reach out to Sharath or me and share the details. We can cross-check and we can share it with the broader audience. And job openings, still now majority of the folks, we are focusing on the India perspective, but now as a global groups, we need to start sharing the job opportunities for outside countries as well. So we have many folks from US, UK, Canada, or Australia, or every other location. Start sharing the opportunities in the groups. That's how it will help someone or other in the group, or maybe we can share it across that will get benefit from someone or others.
Yeah, Satish, here I want to just add one more point. With respect to jobs, right, either you can post it directly if you have sources, or whoever has sources, please ask them to join the group so that they can start sharing those openings. This is one area where we want to explore more in the upcoming days. But for that, we need a strong network from other countries also, like say, for example, Canada or US or Australia or whatever countries they are from. So at least if we are able to get one volunteer, maybe we can talk to them and scatter our network where we can start getting those job posting from other countries also. Of course, LinkedIn and other platforms are readily available, but there are few openings which people post textually in those platforms, right? Which are readily available, immediate kind of jobs or live openings. So those are the ones which we are unable to trace out. With respect to India, we are not saying we are 100% covering, but to whatever extent the information is available, we are trying to cover that, right? And in that also, jobs are something we cannot create, right? Those are something, the information that we get from other sources and publish here. And so with that context, if we take information from other groups, the job information, and post in our groups, don't think like we are doing copycat information. Again, as I said, jobs are not those which we can't create. That needs to be collaborated and needs to be taken care. So that's the only thing I want to add. Satish, please go ahead.
Sure, thanks, sir. And recently, one small incident happened, like where we got about the job opportunities about like multiple companies, but the information is shared across the groups. There is no response, or there is no what do you say, the proper communication or the proper updates or proper way of channeling the opportunities. So that's where we are seeing some issue or challenge with getting the proper information, with making it connected to the required folks. So we never know how, when, where it works. So make sure to share as much of the job opportunities, and it helps someone or other. And we all know how the world is changing day by day. So we need to make sure we are open to help each other, and that's what the next point, volunteering is about. So yes, so be open to help each other. We are all started at step one some or other day. So we need to be as a mentor or as a guide or as a help to someone who is starting fresh or who is getting stuck in some or other way. So we are seeing that opening up, the many folks are opening up and helping each other, clarifying the doubts, questions, or any issues, challenges. Yes, we might need more. We are expecting more with the 10,000 folks across the different groups. We might need to step up a little bit more from the volunteering part as well. That's when it's not just Sharath and Satish driving the show. It is all of us coming together, working together. That is where we can make a difference in the world. And last but not least, sharing is caring. Yes, we repeated multiple times again, but last but not the least, once again, repeating, mentioning it. Share what are the best practices, the standards, or what's working for you. Maybe you might have tried a new facilitation approach. It worked, and you might want to share is you can simply create a blog and share it, or a small post, or you can, if you want to have a session, open session where we can have a simulation of it. Yes, we are open to have the discussions. Let us know. We can have that conversation as well.
Yeah, thanks, Satish. Just want to add one more point here. Sharing is caring is one of the slogans which we have started with in 2021. That's how it has also created a good amount of impact in people, and that's how they started joining our groups and exactly leveraged our groups till date. But one I don't say it as a concern, but in terms of volunteering itself, which Satish has told, even though we have around 9,000, 10,000 plus people in different groups, the participation in terms of volunteering is not even 1%, and it's below 0.5%, right? If you say 1%, it's almost 100 people, and there are not even 100 people, not even 50 people also volunteering as of today. It's less than 0.5%, but that's that's okay. That's how people are busy in their lives. That is understood, but please take some time out of from your side and try to volunteer these things. That's why we have created this feedback form. In that also you have this volunteering option. If anyone wants to volunteer that, please click yes, so that we will reach out to you eventually and as part of our groups, so that we can take a call, right? That's what I want to call out. In fact, instead of saying call out, I will say shout out from my side, a big shout out, so that let's help each other as long as we are in these groups. Right? So with this, I think we have covered what is our how was our journey, and how is our journey going to be, and what are our plans in the upcoming future. And just want to hear more from you folks. I think we have around 10 more minutes. Satish, shall we open to the audience to share their thoughts?
Sure, Sharat. So before that,
Comments.
just giving one link in the Zoom chat. Like as part of my ICF PCC credentials, I'm working on the career coach or the life coach.
Can I stop sharing?
Sure, Sharat. Yeah. So you can, any of you are need any guidance or any assistance or any, in case you stuck with any clarifications or questions as such, you can schedule a slot using the link. I will be providing it in the chat window now. And one thing is, like, when we say coaching, I won't be providing any answers. I can help you go towards the solution, but I won't be directly giving the answer. So you need to take the decision for what are the problem statement you are bringing up. Yes, feel free to schedule a slot and make sure you can get the benefit out of it. Okay, yes, that's it from our side. In case you want to anyone want to have anything, we are open for now before we start the next session.
Satish, Yogsundar here. Able to hear me now?
Yes, Sugusundar.
I got the tower. I got the thing. Everything set now. I'm sitting in car. I'm doing it.
Okay, good,
when you
good.
commit something, you got to do so. You got to do whatever it takes to deliver. Yeah. So I'm happy now. Like, yeah. So that's as of now, rain is gone. So it is clear now. The tower is also seems good. Yeah. So hopefully all good. So I'm not able to get the camera on because there is full dark here. So I'm okay now. Yeah.
Cool.
Sure.
So Yoga Sundar is our next speaker at 7 p.m. right? But unfortunately, he got some emergency. Even though he's in emergency, he stood by our commitment and going to deliver in next few months. So thanks to Yoga Sundar. Just be patient for a few more minutes. We'll start your session. Yeah. Anyone wants to share their thoughts or advice, or anyone wants to give any new ideas, please go ahead.
Just one question. So the QR code, whatever is there, so how to scan it so that we can open it? I was trying to do it.
Okay, you have a generic scanner app, right? In Google Play Store or somewhere.
Okay.
You have to download that scanner and you have to scan with that. Then
Ah.
it will give you a pop-up a link on the
Mhm.
screen. You have to click on the link.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can also go to your camera, just scan it. It will also work.
But that doesn't work from our phone, right? What if we have image in the phone as well as we're trying to open cam and scan it from the same device?
You can try to open it as from the gallery. It might work. That's what
Can
is
you please
right?
share the?
Yes.
Can you please share the that QR code again?
Or Sharath, if you have the link handy, maybe you can share that as well in the chat.
Yeah, that should be fine.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. And yes, this is the schedule for today. Just to reiterate, we'll have our next session by 7. Starts at 7 o'clock. So before that, we will have a networking slot, or maybe you can, if you want to take a break for 15 minutes. Yes, the floor is open. We will open the breakout rooms, or if you want to network among yourselves, you can, or we will have it in the main room open. We can have that conversation. Let's discuss among yourselves, and we can be back by 7 o'clock for the next session. And let me stop recording, and we will resume the recording once we start the 7 o'clock session.
Yeah. Once again, thanks everyone for being part of this session. As Satish told, our next session start in few minutes. Thank you.
And we have breakout rooms open. If in case anyone want, you can join the rooms and you can converse, network among yourselves, and we can be back by 7 o'clock in the next 15 minutes.
Yeah. Before that, if you allow, may I ask a question?
Sure.
Basically, I have recently started the playing role of Scrum Master and using Azure DevOps as a tool. Okay, but I'm struggling to track the task. Okay, what are the tasks open up? Which all tasks need my attention? Something kind of those operational challenges, right? Which other Scrum Master might also be facing, and they already conquered those challenges, but they are my current challenges. So can you help me on that?
I might not be the right person because I never worked on the Azure DevOps. I have experience in Rally and Jira. Anyone else from the folks who have experience in the Azure DevOps who can help Arvind?
Maybe you can post that in groups so that you might get some assistance over there. If there are good amount of people in.
Yes.
Hi Satish, this is Vijay.
Hi Vijay.
We had a few sessions earlier. I have taken your sessions and thanks for your guidance and support. Currently, with this participants, just out of curiosity, if anyone having embedded system domain who has some knowledge, I need some technical support because during stand-up calls, product owner is taking the stand-up call and I am not aware of the technical terms completely, so I am missing those points, and developers are always busy, and whenever I am trying to teach them, they are not in a position to discuss, and they are not sharing the demo or some to the other team members, or they're not interested in when like we are following agile, but people they work on isolate mode. Everyone work on their own task and completing it and delivering it. So how to handle this situation first?
Anyone want to take it up?
Okay, let me take it up. My name is Vikas. See, whatever the
Vikas.
challenge, what is there? See, the whatever you, I've got a lot of good amount of experience. I have worked in multiple countries like Japan, US, Malaysia, and more than 30 customers as on today I've done, and I've got 23 years of experience. So that is a data point. See, it's like communication and the language. So one is a tool, other is a mindset. When you work in agile environment, the important is you have to cultivate the mindset of the people. You have to show the value and advantage. If you show the value and advantage, then only that mindset and the culture builds and people will follow the tools. That's my suggestion. And this is my experience also. As a Scrum Master, as an IT consultant, as a business analyst type, when I go to the top management or at a bottom management, I have to show the benefits, what we are doing and how it is going to help us in having a better communication. So if you don't show the value, then you can't get any benefits for anything I'm saying you. That's my perspective.
But
Thanks, sir.
but what they are saying, if we ask the time from the developers, then they cannot fix the issues and they cannot deliver it on time. So we should not disturb the developers, but how to get time from them?
Highlight the technical depth. What they are, see, objective of agile, what I understand, is to make things simple. Like just think, visualize how did they make the pyramid. 20,000, 5,000 years back, they created a pyramid without any Azure tool or any agile methodology. How would they would have cut every piece and they would have put the block? There will be some way, right? So you have to see, technical developer is doing, and he will take its own time. Just show the benefit. If you do agile, if you communicate, see, agile is nothing. It's not that straight line what you have to draw. It's a mindset and show the value. And I'm a technical guy also in parallel, so I know why I don't do, because see, I think if you are asking me, same as a manager, if somebody asks me something, I know he is not going to understand what I'm trying to explain, because traditionally in Indian culture or whatever industry we are or globally, everyone is selfish and wants to see his part of the story. Till the time you don't show your part of the story, he will not able to understand what you want to. And see, adding value is the most important for both to have a win-win situation. And then only the agile can be successful. I have seen many projects where agile has failed. I have seen multiple projects where agile and Scrum has been successful. So it's important, if you follow the religion of agile or Scrum, whatever you call, then you have to be religious and you have to have a faith in what you are doing, and with the objective that you are going to be a servant leader. That's the way. What is a simple definition, right? If you keep that 2 points in your mind, it is very simple.
Okay.
Sharath, hi, I see you. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
yes,
we can
yes,
hear
we are
you.
able to.
Sharath, this is with respect. Yeah, this is with respect to the backlog of a community, what we are looking for, the forward-looking approach. You just shown that slide I'm referring here. Can we have something as a prioritize there? Like I can see there are many things we need to do, right, as a community. So can we prioritize something? Because I can sense, yeah, we can't really go sequential, but we have to run many things parallelly. But at least looking at the whatever the items on the backlog, can we start something so that we can think of, okay, when I can contribute as a volunteer, like what is the time that for that? So I'm coming from that perspective. If we can give a shot to think about what we want to take further, first step, and whatever we are doing in the real life also, when it in the professional part. So I think it will be helpful if we can focus on the first 2-3 items, and then eventually we can evolve. This is just a thought.
Yeah, it's a very good thought, Reza. I think you're becoming truly agile here also. You're asking for the prioritization before we create some value out of it. Definitely, there are uh, there are few items where we want to move ahead as on the top with a top priority followed by rest of the. So, but once we have good amount of volunteers in place, probably we'll create one more group for volunteers just for us to communicate ourselves, and let's prioritize what I think has value and what you think has more value. Let's get to the traction and find out the right items where we can take it forward and with our thoughts, and let's take it forward. Let's collaborate in that. We are open to that.
Hey guys, this is Arijit. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Please.
Yes, Arijit.
Okay, so I understand from the name. I'm by the way, thank you for setting up a very vibrant group. Yeah? So I'll probably be one of the senior guys by age, probably in this group, but from heart, I'm still a young learner. Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, my question to you, even if it sounds foolish, even if the name says SS Agile Gurus, is it okay to also discuss DevOps over here in this community? If so, then probably I will bring in my experience and would be able to share with my fellow friends here on how do you do, let's say, a DevOps maturity assessment of, let's say, either a set of people. So normally you'll have agile teams with about 14, 15 people teams, right? Or let's say a few weeks of scrums and other stuff. Yeah, I might be going wrong here and there with the names, but at the end of the day, if you are new getting into that situation, or you want to do let's say an assessment from an outside place, how do you look into the maturity? And with maturity, there are several things. It's not just about the technology. It is about the collaboration. It is about the tools. It is about the art trains that you create and everything. Yeah? So I would probably be able to bring in, let's say, kind of a template. Yeah? And although this has been created by an organization where I work, but it's really open source. I have the licenses to even freely distribute it. So it's not really, something where I will be doing a patent violation or etc. Going against my company norms. The reason why I share is twofold. Yeah? One, I want to share it with the genuine interest of encouraging other people. Second, the reality of agility and DevOps is that we learn from each other. You see a same product and you get different views, right? So maybe the way I'm looking at a maturity assessment, maybe the way you will see it will be very different. Yeah? So therefore, we are, the idea is always to collaborate, is always to engage, and is always to bring in a different view from a viewpoint. So if you've gone through, some of you may have studied topics like TOGAF and other points, so you'll understand views and viewpoints and other topics. But I think that there's a real genuine topic. So one of the earlier speakers said that in our culture we hardly probably speak or ask because we are selfish. The other reality is also there. The reason why we don't often speak is because we are shy. That if I don't know whether I'm asking a foolish question, and whether all of you on the other side is going to be judgmental. Yeah? So we got to change ourselves. Yeah? It does not, guys, matter if we ask a foolish question. Just go ahead and ask. Yeah? If imagine you getting into a project, whether it's your first job or second job, experience or inexperience. You're getting in, and your project manager or your scrum master or your product master says, have you understood? This is the vision. Maybe there are questions in your mind. Maybe you're unable to ask because you're feeling shy that there are so many other knowledgeable. Don't feel that. Don't get that scared. Yeah. But again, I did not want to take off this session from both you, Sharath and Satish. Yeah? Firstly, thank you for setting this up. Very, very, very happy to join this session. I'm here to learn and also to contribute. Okay, so thanks with that. Yeah?
Definitely, Arijit, that definitely helped, because because it's not just because DevOps is a hot topic or sort of thing, but DevOps is each of us, whatever the role we are playing, we need to understand the basics, essence of what we are doing, why we are doing, as from the DevOps perspective, right? Half the times we hear stating that the Scrum Master for the product owners, or even the team members, they will say, a DevOps team will take care of it. It's not my responsibility, or I don't need to worry about it. But that's not the case. Only when we get to know the ground reality, essence of what we are doing, why we are doing, then we will get to know the actual benefit of it.
Yep.
True.
Yep.
So maybe,
Sure, sir.
In one of your sessions, I will be happy to share my experiences. Yeah, and also
Definitely.
share a few templates
Sure.
to help everyone. Yeah, learn from each other.
Definitely.
Sure.
In fact, yeah, let's collaborate together and take it as a long journey in terms of, creating some kind of, ground level practices, some sessions which will help people to create a broader reach. Let's plan it, sir.
Yeah, fantastic.
Ajit, welcome. You're
Thank you,
most welcome. Anyone wants to share their thoughts? Any comments? We still have 3 minutes before our beautiful speaker Yoga to start sharing.
My mind is completely blank. This
That's good, Yoga. That's good. You can
You are
start
coming with a plain paper. What else we need?
to discuss about MVP. You're coming with a blank paper. Yes.
All right. Let's take some quick break and come back to our next session. Yeah.
Welcome back. We are getting ready for the MVP session. Yoga, we are able to see your screen.
Yeah, 1 second.
Sure,
now
sure.
all okay, no?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. I am not, any expert or anything in progress. So am I audible now? All okay? Hello?
Yes, Yoga, we are able to.
Yeah. So I am not a great people like you. I'm just learned a little bit in my life. So I'm just sharing whatever that I learned. Maybe there will be mistakes here and there. So please excuse for me. And maybe my mind goes blank. This is the first time that I'm talking in front of larger audience. So I ensured that I worked hard for 15 to 20 days to at least provide some information that is little helpful for people. So having said that, I'll just quickly move on. Today's topic is minimum viable product, and okay, so all okay. So I'll just give a quick introduction about myself. That I am Yogosundar. Like I worked in Triton Technology as I started my career as a trainee engineer. Then I moved on to testing trainer. Then I worked in Capgemini as a test analyst, and after that I worked in OpenStream.ai. And the product is something similar to Siri. It's a conversational based AI. It's basically like if we go to Siri and say like hey Siri, show me the weather, it will say like hey, your weather is 25 degrees Celsius. And if you say read top 10 emails, it will read for 25 emails and then say you want anything. So the product that I worked earlier is like due to some confidentiality I cannot say exactly everything, but I'll just give a gist of what exactly we did. And it took around 4 to 5 years to build this product. So the product works something like hey robot, do you have, I want to book an insurance. Then the robot will come back and say hey, okay, what type of insurance you want? You want life insurance? You want health insurance? What do you want? Then that it will say like we have to say like okay, I want LIC insurance. Okay, you want LIC insurance, fine. So what else you want? Do you want, what is your age? My age is 35. Okay, so I have an offer for you. Shall I read for you? Then it will give an offer, a plan or something. Then probably from there, the conversation start, and it will, we'll provide a specific kind of a details. And from there, it will take on to the other set of chain reaction of sequence NLP commands. So then it will say like, when you want to book an appointment, then it will say, I want to book an appointment on 20th January. Oh, okay. You want to book an appointment 20th January. Okay. So that is basically, you have the train on that day. So you want, if it rains, then you have to take a number. It will say, so it is a conversation based AI where it will start from end. It will provide the information to user, and it is not a human exactly, but it at least generally how robot is response is like, if you ask some questions, it will go back and say I don't know. You ask, I will connect you with an agent. So in this, what we tried to build earlier is like the set of conversation that NLP commands that we keep on feeding to the system, and it will get impacted. It get better and better. So this is just about that product. And then I moved on to Isha Life Private Limited. From there, we worked on environment migration from React to, Drupal to React-based architecture. So this is just about me. So I think all okay for now, right? Hello.
Yes.
I'm just trying to say something. My mind is going something.
Yeah, we are good, Yoga. I know
Yes,
you
yes.
are you are traveling now and gave your valuable time for us. Please move on.
Yeah. 1 second. Okay. So coming about the today's topic, I'm just keeping it very simple. So today's topic is minimum viable product. So basically, it is like the product that we are giving to the users. So business owner or anyone who is investing on a company. So they basically, they want some expected some output from them. It is like okay, so I need to deliver something. I need to launch my product on so and so date so that I can get minimum value out of it. So that is a basic about minimum viable product. So we cannot deliver everything in one stage. So we have to deliver it version by version. So that is a basic part of it. And I'm keeping it very simple now. It's like delivery team and a delivery guy. So delivery guy is one guy who will take it. Take the opportunity to deliver the product to the business owner. So that is one, and all the other team members are a delivery team. So I am not getting in deeper into product manager, project owner, or something. So we'll keep it simple with a delivery guy and a delivery team. Yeah. So this is about it. Like I'll just start with a small story, like how I become a delivery guy. So when I first become a product, when I first become a delivery guy, so one thing that I learned is I do not know anything. I do not know the head. I do not know the tail. I do not know which direction to go. I was completely blank. I fell into the deep sea. I need to find a way to come up and figure out a way to survive. So I just came up and survived. And basically I just started shouting, like I literally went to the team and said, hey guys, I really do not know anything. I want your people to help, you people to help me. So having said that, this is a great part. All my team members or all my DevOps team guys or developers and whoever it is, those are all very good swimmers. And they said, like, don't worry about anything. So these guys do swimming in tsunami. They have done products like they have in this product for a long time, and they have keep on delivering that product for a time after time. So they knows how to deliver it. So they just said, don't worry about anything, just get us what we want and we will deliver it for you. So they said, like, hey, okay, so you want what do you want? So I just went there and said them, like, I put myself down and told the people, like, hey guys, I need help. So they said, like, don't worry, you just set the timeline for us. Okay, so when you want to deliver? Monday I want to deliver. Okay, we'll deliver it on Monday. So these are the things that we need to deliver it. You go to that particular team and get it done for us. So literally they will say, like, oh, go get the image from impression team. I'll go run behind the people and get the image. Go get the legal things approved. I'll go behind that team and get it approved. They just say, go get it, get the things approved. I'm just doing a build, just approve the build. So I'll just approve the build. My part is just, running around the team, getting things done. So they took care of, literally they took care of every delivery. Like, the pressure was there to deliver it on, a week time or, 10 days time, but they took care of everything. What I mean by that is facilitating people. So one thing, this is the simple thing that I learned is when we just need to enable people. So just go there and ask them what you want, how you want to do, how you like to do the job. So they said, like, we know how to do the job, just do these things. So this is just about a small story, and they just literally took care of the project, they took care of the delivery. So my part is just to ensure they are all fit up on all the things. Right. So this is bit about the story about myself and the story that I faced, during the earlier journey. So this is just a bit about it. Hello, am I audible? All okay?
Yes.
It happens. Sometimes it happens. Like
Yes, yes, yeah.
I was talking in the meeting for a long time, and they will say, I was in mute. People will say, like, hey, you are in mute for 15 minutes or so. I was just talking. So okay, let's
Don't worry, Yoga. We are here to take care. You go ahead.
You can go ahead, and sometimes if it is we are not able to hear, then we will highlight
Call
you
out.
that part.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So yeah. So it is just bit about it, like, we deliver as much as features so that the business making money out of it. So why we need it, like, if we are not able to deliver it at some point of time, we will get it lost. The people, the company will get lost into the competition. So we cannot deliver everything at a stage, but we cannot also deliver everything in a shortest time also. Like, we have to take the important decision to take, valuable information to deliver so that people make money. So that is the process it starts. And how we will deliver, we'll see. So so basically it happens, business communication. So initially, like, hey, we'll say, hey, business owner, like, hey, what do you want? So they'll say, like, I want to build a website. So I want to say, for an example, I want to build a website so that I can communicate my knowledge to the people. So this is just a bit about it. The product vision is basically what is the product and what unique value it brings to the the particular business owner or organization, so that it is like everything is, if it is same, just Flipkart is copying with an Amazon, it is not so. So it is basically like they have their own set of streamlined way of approaching people. Flipkart has a different way of approaching people. So any product that we are building, we need to have a unique value, and we have a unique vision, so that it at least we can survive in the market, go on, make business out of it. So the first initially question, like say for an example, if you are building a website, so something similar, like for an example, okay, Satish, sorry, can I take you as an example? Hello.
Sure.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So for an example, Satish and Sarath, our industry leaders, they want to share their knowledge. For an example, they are taking PMI certification or ACP certification, whichever. They want to build a website. So initially, like they have to ensure what are the basic important things that we need to have in the website. So it's basically like the initial business conversation start, right? Like I want to build a website. He will go to a company, say for an example, in one small startup company, he will say that, hey, I want to build a website in terms of, so that I can share my knowledge. If whatever the programs, PMI.ACP or PMI, whatever things that I'm conducting, it will be there on a website, so that people will come over there, they will register, and then they will ensure that they will get the particular kind of a notification on their mail. So basically, the first initial conversation, okay, so you want means like you want a desktop, you want a mobile, or which version you want. So initial conversation will start with this, and they'll say, okay, for now we'll keep on with the desktop version, so that all people will be good in desktop, or most people will be into mobile browser. So we want something similar to that. So what I'm trying to say is, what is a product? What type of product we are going to build, and where we are going to build. So that's a initial set of conversations that we have with the developers. And the most important thing is we need to have a target date with the business owner. So basically, like when you want the product, business always want the product yesterday, and not today, not tomorrow, not day after tomorrow. So they want product yesterday. So if they want the product yesterday, so that much of a competition, that much of a pressure we have, and we cannot able to deliver everything yesterday also. So it is basically like we have to talk to them. They will be under pressure. Development team also, everyone will be under pressure. So the initial set of things to do is get the initial requirements from the business owner. Okay, whatever you want. Okay, login page, registration page, landing page. We have a header banner. We have the middle section. We have cards that will display all the programs. And we have the footer, basic set of information, and then contact details. We have a chat option that will integrate with the other set of any chat features. Maybe Zoho's chat feature is there, so we can integrate that, so that people come over there and do something, view the product, and get register for the program. So that it'll in turn they can able to share the knowledge. So that is one thing. When we started, we also use, most of you people knows that Masco better than me. So basically, like, we'll collect the business set of requirements, like, okay, what are the most important set of features that we want? Okay, so first will be register, login, landing page, all the set of things that we want. So that will be there. And we will take it out, we will note it down, and then we'll say, like, okay, so by end of March 2023, we will be able to deliver small set of features that will provide you the business value, so that you can make money out of it. By end of 2023, you make money out of it. So that is one. And we'll go with a shorter iteration, like 2 or 3 months or 6 months or whatever the timeline. So basically, the time is the first and foremost important thing. And we'll get the timeline, we get the estimation, we'll get okay. And money, I'm not sure. I'm not, I am not part of money kind of discussion. Okay, so let's keep, like, Sarath give us $1,000 for building the product for now. Now, basically, we'll say after the initial kickoff meeting, we'll say, like, okay, we'll go back and we'll give a plan to you. So within a team, the first important thing is time. The other set of thing is priority, and then we need to communicate it to the business owner. And setting the platform right, there is a technical process, and then there is a business process. We have to streamline both technical as well as business. and we need to identify the workflow, like what type of work we want, what is an approach that we want, how we want to progress, those set of items that we want to progress, and we need to pick a right tool. Like what is work for us. Some people organizations will use Jira, some organizations will use some other tools. That is fine, but as an initial discussion, we need to have concrete solution for set of tools that we pick, so that our life will become better over a period of time. And we need to buy a tool that is in terms of it'll expand, it'll be scalable. We're not looking into a shorter perspective, we need to look into a broader perspective of how we can able to build that product over a period of time. So then it'll not everyone will not work one after another. We also need to everyone needs to work in parallel. So it'll be like one guy will work one time, or developer will go write a code, tester will do a testing. Initially they will do all the things pre-prepared, like write whatever the requirement. Based on the requirements, the testers will write it. Based on that, the developers will also write a small set of a code. UI guy will go, you do a initial set of a prototype. So by the time that is coming, we are almost okay for the first set of release. So basically, like it's always like we all know Scrum, like we'll give a product, we'll get a set of feedback from there, and then we'll add on and get the features better. So this is what it's all about, like inform the plan to the business owners, like version 1 we are going to deliver it on March 23 and 2023 June. So something like that. And we prioritize a feature with 1, 2, 3 set of features, and we'll say thank you to the business owner. This is the plan. Are you okay with that? And we get the approval from them, and then we'll move on to other set of items. So when we start, there is something called a sprint 0. I understand. Just put for a convenience purpose. I'm just classifying into 2 types. One is from a business perspective, another is from technical perspective. So in here we'll prioritize using Masco. Like we'll set prioritize feature 1, 2, 3. These are the things that we are going to deliver, and for the version 1, and what are the methodology that we are going to follow. We will use it, and people, their skills, their experience, and whatever it takes for to deliver a product. From technical perspective, these are the set of architecture that we are going to use. Technologies that we are going to use. For a front end, it will be HTML, CSS, and middle end and client server architecture, whatever you want. For a content management system, it will be data CMS, Drupal, WordPress, etc. And for host wise, AWS, Google Cloud, or whichever thing that we want to use. And management tool wise, Jira. And there is one more tool called Bagasura that recently I found it was very useful. So other set of things, that is whatever we want, we are just ensuring that we are setting the platform right for both business as well as technical. So this is initially we'll start, and then basically when you're setting the platform for a technical, we need to create an architecture flow. It will not happen overnight. We need to create a small set of architecture that it will become better and better. So what is the client and how we are going to handle, and all this LB URLs and all this stuff that we need to take care of it. And maybe we need to have maybe a technical architect who's the guy who's set up all these things. And also we need to have a standardized UI. What is meant by standardized UI is like the UI that we are creating for one set of feature that will used for other set of modules also. In terms, like for an example, if you are using a home page, we use a same structure so that we can retake it and use it, so that developers also not getting pretty much confused. So we need to have 4 to 5 different set of templates, so that developers will take it easy, and they can work in a synchronized way. So we use a standardized UI. We need to so 4 to 5 set of different UI we have, and you people take it and you use it. So anything that is coming out of it, we are going to block it and say, hey, we are not going to touch it for now. We'll do later, but for now, we are going to use this component. And there is something called a reusable component. So reusable component in the sense, we need to have one set of a home feature. So for an example, we have home, and then we have, about us on any other page that we have. We will write a code for one set of a home page, and then we use the same set of code or the same set of template. We use it for other set of components. In the sense, it will be easy for us to take the code, just do here and there modification, a plus b the whole square, that we'll modify and put it into the next set of item. So that, our life of a developer will become a little easier. And, we need to pick a correct tool. So whichever tool that is convenient for the team, they will pick it. That is all up to technical architect and a senior developer guy developer lead, whoever is this. And we also need to set the CI/CD pipeline right. All the developers will take the code, put it into the pipe, and they will just trigger it, and everything will take it, and it will streamline the flow, so that we will deliver it in a dev environment or whichever environment that you want. So we will see a little bit later. But for now, setting the platform right for a CI/CD pipeline also, so that everyone will take the code and put it over there. We will trigger it. We will get an output, some kind of an output. It will not happen over a period of time. We need to build it slowly and get better. So we also need to have every problem that, every time that we have a technical problem, we need to have some time. So every time what happens is, when we are facing the technical solution itself, we will start working on to, getting the production issue happens. We'll stop everything. So we are not planning. Most of the time what happens is, people are not planning for a technical fix. So we need to have a little bit of time to concretely see what is the technical issue and how we can able to fix it. So that is all about it. And stabilize the environment. Look, okay, so these are the different type of the environment that we're going to use, like a dev environment, UAT, staging, live, and we just need to stimulate it. And we need to have a specific timeline for each environment, for dev, UAT. I don't know. Okay, so dev means we will take a dev and then we have a buffer time for dev. Okay, so we will build it, and then over a period of time, if it takes a little bit of any production issue, if you're not able to build it, we have this buffer time that we are giving little bit luxury to the developers. Don't worry, you have that little bit of luxury time, you take it and deliver it. So it is like, what I'm saying is, when we are planning, we have a set of 1 week time to build a feature for a dev environment. We have this time, and we also have a little bit of extra time to have a buffer. And we also streamline. CI/CD also not, we cannot do everything in a stretch. We need to automate only what is required. At this, we need to start small and we automate. Say for an example, we have a content. Every time there will be a content update. Sorry. Sorry. Every time there will be a content update. So it is basically only that set of content items. Like we have a data CMS as a back, middle section, the content management system, where we just go edit the text, save it, and publish it. Everything will come over there in the website. So that we start small in that set of item. Going forward, we'll get it better. So buffer time to handle production issue, that also needs to be taken care. So this is what I pretty much covered. When we start initially, not everything will not work. Developers will put a code and they will try to integrate with the system, and it will not integrate. Everything will go off, and they have to find a time. So if the buffer times, if we give it will be helpful for them to fix it and make it at least ready. And the CI/CD pipeline wise, as I said earlier, we need to start small. We use this as an analogy, what is a basic thing that we need to automate, that we'll automate, and then over a period of time, we will, like a Maggie machine, we'll get it better and better. We'll add up a few more systems, so that we'll take it up and add it. Streamline the CI/CD pipeline. And over a period of time, so now for an example, Amazon and all, they are launching everything in quick session. So that didn't happen overnight. It will take years and years for them to get these things done. So anything they will go to the backend system, they will just add the content, they will just put the pop-up, they will just trigger, everything will get automatically triggered. They don't need, they will also have the entire set of regulation suite, it will run it, and it will give that output, okay, so you have done something, it is wrong. So it's kind of it'll take a little bit, longer period of time. But at the initial stage, we cannot build it. So we start with a small. So what is most important to automate, that we'll automate. So I'm just taking a Scrum, water Scrum fall approach. Initially, we gather all the requirements. We do a sprint cycle. For a development environment, we have a sprint. UAT environment, we have a sprint. Staging, we have a sprint. And by stage, we'll take it and we'll deliver it. And finally, we'll take release as a separate set, as a simple example, so that we take a dedicated time for production. Like for an example, 1 week. In that 1 week, whatever we can able to take, we can able to take and deliver it. And then if any production issue happens within this time, developers also a little bit of time, go and fix it. So this is how the process flows. And there is an important something called testing. So usually what happens is when we are under pressure, testing is compromised. It's always like this, by the time, developers take 10 or 11 p.m. in the night, they will build the product, and, testers will come back and, do 1 or 2 hours of testing. And, okay, this is okay, that is okay. Okay, we'll push to live. Rest of the thing will take care. So what happens is, like, unless we plan a dedicated, testing also we need to consider as a development activity. We need to have a dedicated time for each and every environment. And, testing, generally, from my perspective, it is very simple. The application carries the user from one place to another place, not the other way around. It is, everyone's responsibility, but also testers will take care of this thing. As a tester mindset, we have, unless a tester feels happy about the product, unless a development team who are working on a product, they are happy, the end users will not be happy. I'll show a couple of tools that is unbelievably amazing. So I know I'll show it in, down the slide. The product, it's all about, how we are building the product, how the UX is flowing. So it needs to be taken care. I know that's why we need to specifically have a timeline for, testing environment. We have to make sure testing done as a separate activity, and, we allocate time for that. No compromise should be done for that. And it also has a significant impact. So unless we test it specifically and, give a lot of perspective and we fix it, it significantly have a business impact. How many times that we launch an application, we launch it and see it in another 3 minutes, we'll, okay, no, I don't want it, I'll just run it. Once the user off to the product, they are off. It is very difficult for them to come back and, set it, use the application. So that is why the testing plays a crucial role. So we have to ensure that, testing have a specific time. A bug life cycle. This is a very interesting thing. So usually what happens in bug life cycle, we log 100 issue to the developers. So it always goes on like this. When we start the product, it will be like this. And you are getting it right. So as the product goes on, it will get, we are nearing the delivery date. It will become what we call the issues getting better, more, adding more and more, and, the developers will be under pressure, and they do not know which to pick, which to fix. So we need to have, I found recently one tool that is an amazing tool called Bagasura. So it's like, how it works is like, basically we'll go there and we'll plug it, and then we'll see what are the objects it is there, and it will capture, and, we'll just need to annotate here and then put it like high, medium, low, and we will, whatever that functionality tag that we need to add, we'll add it and it will move on. And it will also give us a perspective, like, how many issues that is there. Okay, 164 issues, and we can able to see it, we can able to sort it out. And, it is, basically what I'm trying to say is, every time that we are using any tool like Excel sheet or, whichever tool that we are using, what actually happens is, like, developer has to go there and see each and every item, and, they have to read it, and, they have to change the status, and, they have to take the screenshot where the screenshot is, they have to figure out, they have to go to the talk to the testers, hey, I am not able to reproduce the issue, come just help me out to reproduce the issue. And under pressure, nobody is going to, take that much of a time. So we need to facilitate and enable developers in such a way that, we will list out the issues so that, it'll easy for them. Okay, you said this issue, I'll go there and figure out the issue. The tool needs to take care of everything. So this tool actually taking care of literally everything. So, it's like I logged 100 bucks, I can able to view the 100 bucks. Yes, I can able to view it. And then, to reproduce it, if you see here, there is a screenshot will be shared. As we taken, as we tested, and as we annotate, all the things will be captured. And it will be easy for the developers, go and see the screenshot. And, there is one more set of feature that is in this product it is having is, developers having the concrete communication between, developers and testers. They will go to Slack, they will, update it, and then they will come back. Okay, the conversation for a particular issues goes out and then coming back. So here in this tool, what actually happens is like testers and developers are all ensuring that, talking about a particular issue on one particular issue, like, whatever that it takes to fix that issue. The conversation happened within this issue, within this tool. And whatever the changes we need, we will deliver it, and we can change the status and we close it. So, and also this tool helps to have a overall metrics in terms of how much time it will take for us to, how many bugs that we logged for this, and how many severity priority, what is the tool that we differently used, and what are the, Mac OS or whichever system that we observed the issue, everything is captured. So this is pretty much about it. Like, we use this set of a feature, and, basically like we start from it, we set the platform right, I'll take away, so to take, the key takeaways that what I'm trying to say is, we need to set the timeline right, we need to set the priorities right, we need to communicate and, between the teams, and we need to set the technical platform business flow right, and, we need to collaborate, we need to work in parallel, and we need to have a buffer time for each and every environment, and we follow the SDLC cycle, and we don't compromise testing, and, we deliver the product version after version, one after one, V1, V2, V3, like that. We'll deliver. We deliver it, we'll get the feedback from them, and we'll get the product better. So it's all going in a small cycle. We start small, we'll get better and better and better over a period of time. So this is pretty much about, whatever that I learned. So I hope it's all okay. So I just have my favorite quotes from Sadhguru, and if you like, you can see. And so, yeah, so I'm pretty much done. So any questions so far? So all is okay. Am I good?
Yoga, you didn't give time for us to see your Sadhguru quotes.
Sure.
We can spend half a minute there. Okay, can we open for questions, Yoga?
Yeah, sure. So,
okay.
Yeah, so I hope I'm okay with that. I deliver something. So what do you people
That's
think?
Great. Anyone has any questions? Please go ahead.
Yeah, Sharat. Thanks, Yoga. It was a surge of information in a very short period. So it was very nice. So I just have a question regarding, say, for example, I have already a built product. Say, for example, for Amazon, we want to have a new feature altogether. Then how MVP plays its role. And if we are planning to build a new product altogether, how MVP plays its role. I just wanted to understand about that.
Okay, so you're asking about, the same set of features that is there. We're just adding a few more features, and, what we call like a pop-up or something else that you are adding, so that, it'll be more useful for the people. That's what you're asking.
No. My question is regarding how this minimum viable product, how it plays its role in, say, for example, there are two things, right? Whether you are enhancing an existing product or you are building a new product altogether, right? In both the cases, MVP comes into picture. Correct. Because we want to showcase the customers that these are the features. We want to validate, is that what they wanted, and we want to ensure that this is what they wanted. So we have to build that minimum viable features.
That we will do it in the next cycle. No, we will prioritize. We ask them, okay, why we need this set of feature. Okay, so which cycle we can able to add it. Minimum viable product is generally, we are setting the platform to get the things, out for the business. So whatever the features that we need, business need, they will take it up, and during the next cycle, they will take the other set of features, and whatever the features that you are asking for, it will be added, and then we'll build it into the second version. So does that answer the question? It is basically like, whatever the feature that one, either it is an already existing product or is a newly built project, that we are going to add some features. So if you are adding a feature, so it is basically, in which version we are going to fix it. So that's the only thing that we are going to figure out. So either it will be an old new set of a project, or existing product, it doesn't matter. It's basically like, we are adding the feature. It is not a product that we are adding. We are just adding the feature. That is answer your question.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm
Can
not.
I slightly answer? Can I add something on top of
sure.
it, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I'll just try to correlate. I mean, I could correlate, like, in what context we are asking that question. Sorry, like, I do not recollect the person who asked this question. So I would answer. So what happens in the context of when the product is already built and we are trying to team according to the framework or the rules which has been set at our organization. Say for most of the time, the products which are already built by Microsoft or somewhere. So we're trying to adopt or tame it to the organization framework. In that case, what we usually do for MVP, we always see what values are it is adding. It's not always the money which is kind of influences it. It's a value. Say for example, as it was already said, we always go with MVP, wherein initially it starts with the maximum value without which business would not compromise or something. We always go with that kind of a version. Then we slowly keep adding the number of features which keep adding more value to the basic framework or fundamental business to it. And soon after, once the product is somewhere stabilized, or we see the more number of users are coming in, that's where we keep adding more of the features which is like a fancy fancy features which is more add. It may not directly add value, but it over the period of time on the longer goal it adds. Okay, this is more on the perspective when already the product is available and we are trying to use it. And the other aspect of this, like if we are trying to build a product from the scratch, say Google or somewhere, people are building a Chrome or somewhere, there the perception is completely different. There what we usually do is we always see from, say for example, I want to build a car, so I typically don't go with a tricycle, bicycle, which typically the example which is given from the other sources over the internet. There we always see, if I need to build a car, there's no point of giving a tricycle to travel or something. There we can always see, okay, for my car I might at least build the 4 wheels, a basic framework where at least it may not look like a car, but it suffices my requirement. That's more onto the building the product from the scratch. Hope this answers your question partly.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Sampath, for adding it. Just to add on from my side, so Shubha, to add on, right? If in case the existing product we are enhancing, still we might be considering what is the additional thing. Let's assume we have already 10 functionalities released to the product, and released to the market, and customers are making use of it. Now we want to add 2 more functionalities on top of that. Right? For that 2 functionalities, we still need to see if in case whether the 2 functionalities we want to build in fully everything together at the same time, or want to come up with a minimal thing within the 2 new functionalities plus the existing 10 which are already there in the production. Right? So again, we might not be going the full-fledged brand new MVP or a fresh MVP sort of thing. We might be reiterating, we might be revising, revisiting the MVP which we already defined or which we already have, and we can add on top of it and see again what's the timelines, what's the budget, what's the release context coming into consideration, and accordingly we can pick and choose what is the next set of things we are having it from the release or the planning perspective.
Thanks, Satish. Adding on to that, so generally it's the product manager generally doesn't come into picture when they don't decide the timelines, right? It is generally the project manager who will decide the time. So how?
No, might not be. See, the product manager is where we'll be coming up with the timelines. See, we need to understand why or how we come up with the timelines, right? So who is the customer point of contact, who is the business facing or the end user facing? It's not the project manager, it's the product manager or the business folk. So they will be coming up with the timelines, and they will be coming up with the scope, and which will be passed on to the teams, and that's where the project manager's role will come into context. Does it clarify your question?
Maybe Satish, whatever the timeline that come from product side or business side of the expectations, And whatever that is going to get committed or expected from the IT or that are given by combination of project manager along with IT, right? Post discussion. So that is the difference between expectations versus I won't say actual, but IT will also internally check their capacity and everything. And
Yes,
how
yes,
they can
yes.
commit to the
That also will
timelines.
come into context. Yes, yes, that's correct.
So Shubha, I think the both ways, expectations versus how we are going to commit, right?
Sure. Thanks, Sharath.
But in Agile and DevOps, there is no concept of project manager, right? And I mean, I'm not a guru, but I've never thought.
Yeah, we have Scrum Master.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true, Arijit. But the end of the day, who will be helping the teams with the identifying and onboarding the new team members, or replacement team members, or enhancing or extending. Let's suppose we got the approval, we got the success with the MVP, the first version whichever we built. Now we want to scale up and we want to speed up the implementation. So obviously, someone need to take care of that budgeting part and the associate. I don't call resource, I call it associate identification, onboarding, and that is where the project manager role could be coming up. Yes, there is no role as such defined, but yes.
Yeah, the terminology that normally I've heard in my organization is, and it often happens that you are engaged in a customer scenario. The customer is working on an agile or a DevOps mechanisms, and it is a continuous chain. So that there are continuous releases that are happening almost every week, or a few times every week, and it's highly automated. Yeah, so if you check your code through, let's say, Sonar or whatever, almost 85% is getting validated by Sonar at that maturity level. Now, if there are new features, because there are new ideas that do come in. Yeah, so and to manage them, normally a product coach steps in. Yeah? So who gives in an outside-in view and goes through the Moscow,
prioritization,
priorities.
Yes.
Yeah, that what you must do, what you should do, what you won't do. So that is one topic that I've I've often heard within these teams. The other topic, and they use these as tools for discussion to be able to channelize the mindset of the teams that are working on the products. Yeah. The other topic that I've also seen, if it is not Moscow, they use also another form called the WSJF. Yeah. So the weighted shortest job first. Yeah. So if my friends here, if you're able to do a bit of a Google and search with WSJF, there is a mathematical formula. It comes from mostly Safe Agile, if I'm not wrong. But at the end of the day, it tells you, or it gives you a mechanism how you're able to prioritize over several features and what you must do and what you should not do, as example. Yeah?
Yeah, there are many other prioritization techniques like RISE and so basically it is to reach and based on reach and impact. So they prioritize.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, money counts. Yeah? So which makes the most impact, and you want to release something and which is a must to have, and it has the most impact. So a must is normally something that has the maximum impact, I can tell. Yeah? So and that becomes the highest priority. Yeah?
Again, end of the day, we all need to remember individuals and interactions over process and tools. All the process, all the tools we are bringing up just to make sure to bring up all the different individuals together and make them have interaction among themselves. What are the process or the approach or the tool we follow? Yes, it is required, but the first preference or priority is given to the individuals and interactions.
Yeah, Yoga, one question from my side. This Dugasura tool, right?
Yeah.
Is it a open source or paid tool?
No, actually, it is a paid tool. I think it is like, For first 5 set of users, it is free forever, and there will be one user for $5 or something. Some amount is there. So for first 5 users, it is completely free, and anyone can use it. And if the user counts increase, there will be some money, like $4 or $5. It is there per user.
So how it is different from tools like Zapier or any other comparative tools? Any additional advantage that we get?
No, basically, Zapper is kind of a test management where we'll write a test case. I don't have much knowledge, but actually I'm currently exploring Zapper. So it is basically like testing, writing the test cases and getting things managed in a certain order rather than doing it in Excel. But this tool is specifically designed for help the developer. I mean, save the developer's time. So we used Jira earlier, and we used any other tools like Excel's also. We tried to many other way. But this tool is specifically for a bug life cycle. We can able to log quickly. Developers can able to view quickly, and there is also a screen share option. I mean, screen recorder option. Like whatever the set of steps that developers need to reproduce the issue will be there. So this tool is specifically for a bug lifecycle flow. I'm not much explored. I mean, I don't have a greater perspective of this. From as far as my understanding, it's significantly reduced the bug lifecycle time. So this is where we are enhancing developers' life. This is what so far I observed on this tool.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Yoga, for a wonderful session. And thanks for everyone for bringing up the questions.
Thank you.
Okay,
thanks for the opportunity.
Let's move on to the next topic. We have our speaker Pratibha ready.
I think we have 15 minutes break, right, Satish?
After this session, Sharat.
Oh, okay.
On 45 to 8:30, and then 8:30 to 9 is the dinner break, half an hour break, which we plan. Yes, Pratibha, over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Satish. Thank you, Sharath. Good evening, everyone, and good morning, good afternoon to everyone. So we have been listening so far, like how Satish and Sharath has created this community, Agile community, great community, and how Yoga has talked about knowledge product to share the knowledge, and about MVP. So now let's. This is a virtual session. Let's do a magic. So let's make it physical. It's a virtual session, but let's make it physical. So how can we make it? Any ideas?
One way is to enable the videos so that at least we can see each other. That's one way. Of course, we can't touch each other, but we can see by turning on the video. That's one way.
Yeah, that's one way. And another easy way I'll share now. So let's all give a big hand. Let's all clap. Real clap by everyone. So this way we can make real for ourselves. And one more thing is it's going to help us. Like we will have all nerve endings here. So it will create blood circulation and at the same time good heart functioning, and it's going to help our health. Basically, always we should be concerned about ourselves also. So this is one of the very good mechanism, but rarely we use it. So thank you everyone. So I'll share my screen. Okay, I hope my screen is visible. Is my presentation visible?
Yes.
Yes, Pratibha.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, everyone. So far we have been having heavy sessions, not heavy session, but a really very interesting session about the product. But this will be very lightweight, to be frank, very lightweight and very easygoing. Like Scrum, you know, it is a lightweight framework. So the topic also I picked such way. So you'll come to know by end of this session what is Scrum and empiricism. Simple meanings you will understand about Scrum and empiricism. So this is the agenda. Introduction, my introduction, what is Scrum, different statistics, and what is empiricism, and we'll talk about Scrum pillars. So to talk about me, my introduction, I am an Agile evangelist. I am an Agile coach. So I'll talk like how I became an Agile coach. There are two motivations, obviously like everyone, personal motivation and professional motivation to become an Agile coach. So all of you know, right, Agile means nothing but being nimble, being flexible, being adaptable. So similarly, I am a person who is adaptable, flexible, very easygoing type of person. So the thing is, when I got married, like my spouse and me, if we consider, I always used to tell my spouse that you are coming from military background, and he always used to tell I am coming from Air Force, because I am easygoing on the fly. Like I never plan anything, I do everything on the fly. I get adapted and I execute the things, whatever personal or anything. I take things easily and do that. So in a way, I'm agile. And my husband, he is always like he plans everything beforehand. Everything is, he was in US for some time, so he's very organized, very planned. So everything is planned for him. That's why I keep telling you are coming from military. So maybe you can recollect one of the movie like Saif Ali Khan's movie. In that, uh, he will be telling his would be, I think you are going to marry some timetable. Every time he'll be telling timetable, timetable. Can you recollect that movie name? I think Amir Khan is there, Saif Ali Khan, and the other hero's name I cannot remember. So my
Dil Chahta Hai.
initial is, yeah,
Dil Chahta Hai.
yeah, Dil Chahta Hai. So my initial days were like that only. Did I marry some timetable? So everything has to be planned and also. Okay, so that's how I have my personal motivation towards being flexible and adaptable. I'm from Air Force or on the fly. My definition of time is on the fly or adapting and getting things done. So coach, Agile is what I have been talking. So coach, that is from professional motivation. So based on my professional experience background, a coach means most of the times I have seen this like wherever we go, even in professional context, coach means people don't have good understanding or they get confused as, or else they'll be thinking something like magic or something like that. Coach is nothing but someone who helps others. Basically, they don't think about themselves, but they help others. Basically, they will create the winners. Like even if you see in sports, they'll create the winners. Even in Agile, if you see, they will create the winning teams. So in my professional context, I have been coached in my experience and I have been mentored. Initially, when I used to connect with my mentors or coaches, I used to think I didn't get anything out of this session. Just I used to attend, but really it didn't help me. But over a period of time, not even immediately 1 month or 2 months, over a period of time, 3 years or like that, I realized, okay, this has helped me. They have basically coached me and it has helped me in my experience, in my career. So that way I was inspired. So that's how I became an agile coach, personal motivation plus professional motivation. And to talk about me, I'm from Hyderabad, Telangana. I am a Hyderabadi, like many of you maybe. Overall, I have 16 years of experience. I'll go to next slide. Okay. So as an agile coach, I am a Scrum coach, Lean coach, Safe coach, Agile coach. I've been working with different frameworks, different transformations all through my career. I've worked with multiple clients like US, UK, Japan. as part of my career, I started my career in Indian Space Research Organization. So I have like national level exposure and global level exposure to some extent. Both have been traveling, and so I have both sorts of experience. So I have done my master's from Usmania University, and I have done my MBA from IIM Calcutta. I am a safe program consultant and certified agile coach. Apart from that, I like volunteering. So I am volunteer in Agile Network India, and I am one of the volunteer in Anita Borg from Hyderabad chapter. So thank you to SS Agile Gurus, Sharat and Satish. Thank you. Thank you to be a part of this group. Okay, I'll go to the next slide. So what is Scrum? What comes? Because when I was not into Agile, I never used to understand what is Agile, and I never used to understand the term Scrum. So what comes to your mind? Like, what is Scrum? Okay.
Small cycles.
Framework.
Yes.
It's a framework to implement Agile.
Yes. Yeah.
To me, I always say that Scrum is a way of life. That is how I describe Scrum. Because in everything that we do, we basically do Scrum.
Yes. So
It's basically a framework that involves the development or a life cycle of a product. The framework that we might follow, or a methodology that we might follow to develop a product.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you everyone for sharing your views of Scrum. There is a definition for Scrum, but I'll just share my view, simple view. Okay. Scrum is nothing but a teamwork. Together, everyone achieves more. So Scrum is nothing but it creates the teamwork basically. That is the main mechanism of Scrum. Scrum is a framework, it is a mindset, and it has fast learning cycles and all. But at the end of, if we see, in my view, it is teamwork. Together, everyone achieves more. So Scrum is a framework or a mindset, a framework which creates collaboration. Like basically in the team, if we see, it keeps everyone empowered. If you see matured Scrum teams, it will keep team members, everyone will be always enthusiastic, and they will be having the energy, right set of energy, and empowered basically. And if you see the mechanism which Scrum has, it always creates collaboration, and in Scrum teams, team members help each other. So that is how together everyone we can achieve more. So it is a mechanism in which one person, the team members help each other. In my overall 16 plus years of experience, I have been part of different teams. But when I was in Scrum team, I realized how we can learn from others, how we can collaborate, and it was very nice experience. So end of the day, Scrum teams together with collaboration and with the team spirit, they create the products. They join the different pieces of the product and they deliver the product. So this is a simple way we can visualize Scrum. So this is the mechanism which creates teams and which builds teams and which creates high performance teams, and in end of the day, it's creating many products. Okay, so we understood Scrum. What is Scrum? So now we'll see how Scrum has been adopted. This is some data. It's not exact data. I have taken it from Google, but I wanted to tell how Scrum has been adopted. So if we see the statistics of Scrum compared to different frameworks, Scrum is widely adopted, almost 37% it is adopted. It is compared to all other frameworks if we see, Scrum is widely adopted, highly and widely adopted, 37%. If we see hybrid frameworks, I think everyone have come across different hybrid frameworks, and we all work in different hybrid frameworks. That is 35%. So almost it is equivalent to the hybrid frameworks. If we see, because industry-wide, this area will be more, because many companies, many with previous working styles, they adopt many hybrid frameworks. So if we see, Scrum is having almost same chunk of adoption like hybrid frameworks. And Kanban is 11%, Lean is 11%, and Scrumban nowadays, Scrumban is picking, so it is 5%. So this is the Scrum adoption statistics. So means, I think we all hear the word Agile and Scrum. It is very common word now, but to understand why Scrum is very common, because of its efficiency, its success rate, and it's very easy, like it is very lightweight framework. Because of that, it is almost adopted industry-wide. So what industries are using Scrum? We think that Scrum and Agile are only for IT and software development, but Scrum is adopted in many industries. It's not only to software development. It is in almost all the domains like financial services, food and beverage, medical devices, legal, hospitality, customer, construction, travel, education, all the domains. I am coming from aerospace domain and manufacturing and telecom domain. So there also I have seen. So it is adopted in almost any sort of domain. So which companies are using Scrum? If we see, if we want to understand which companies are using Scrum, Google, Bank of Ireland, Apple, Amazon, IBM, Facebook. If we think any company, that company is always already using Scrum. And anywhere, any company, you should find one or two teams, minimum one or two Scrum teams. It will be complete Scrum or any stage of Scrum. So if you see, there are many companies which are been adopting Scrum, and we are already using the products which are output of Scrum. Like currently I'm presenting in Google Chrome, and so Google we are using, and banking, like most of us are doing in net banking and everything, so we are using already. So anything like anywhere, if you see, we are already like using the output from Scrum teams. So far we have been talking about Scrum. Now we'll try to understand what is empiricism. So empiricism is in Scrum is an approach whereby the team continuously learns and improves from mistakes. So they say, right, fail fast and succeed sooner. So like empiricism is in Scrum, it talks about continuously learning and improving from mistakes. I am also a continuous learner. So like I see everything in terms of learning, basically. So even if you see in Scrum, there are multiple ceremonies, daily stand-up and until retrospective. In any ceremony, if we see, there is a mechanism for learning. So we get to learn. So that way, if we see, empiricism is nothing but team continuously learning. So in a team, if we see, team member, wherever they are starting in Scrum team, their performance increases, like because they are learning in every ceremony and they are learning from the team members. In Scrum, empiricism means then the team makes decisions and changes based on what the customer is experiencing. So if we see, like end of the day, everything is customer first. So our adaptation and our learning will be in direction to customer requirement. So if we see, like we understood so far that Scrum is nothing but learning and adaptation. So we have understood the different ceremonies, what are the ceremonies. Scrum is based on 3 pillars, transparency, inspection, and adaptation. So by creating the transparency, without transparency, there is no learning. Basically, by creating the transparent mechanism within the teams, it's helping in learning. And by participating in daily stand-up and by participating in sprint review, sprint planning, and retrospective, everywhere we have mechanism to communicate and learn and create that inspection. Like we get to think like why this is this way and this. Okay, so transparent mechanism, creating a mechanism for inspection and learning, like whatever like someone was telling, no, like we hesitate to talk, but in scrum teams we get to talk. We are supposed to talk, like even in the daily stand up any point of time, if you see, we get to talk and we are supposed to talk. And it is creating like transparency, inspection and adaptation. So end of the day, because of the transparent system, we inspect from whatever the things are going on and we adapt, like we adapt to the customer requirement. So uh, in my definition, Scrum and empiricism is nothing but learning and adaptability with transparency, inspection, and adaptation. So if we see like nothing but it is learning cycles. Scrum is learning cycles with feedback loops, because of which we get the best output we can see. So that is the thing I wanted to share. So yeah, if you have any questions, we can discuss. And this is the QR code which Sharath has shared. Sharath and Satish has shared. You can scan it and give the feedback. And so now the forum is open for questions. We can discuss on the questions.
Yeah, thanks, Pratibha, for the great session. Open to audience. Anyone has any questions that they want to ask?
Sorry, I
You are
missed
on mute.
you.
Please unmute yourself and move forward. Sorry, Pratibha.
Yeah, this is Shubha. Pratibha, I missed a few minutes of the session due to network issue. I'm just wondering how is it different from a retro? Because even in retro, we do the same thing, right?
Yeah, retro is one of the ceremony within Scrum.
How is empiricism different from retro?
Empiricism is nothing but the base, like base for Scrum. Like Scrum is built upon empiricism. Empiricism is nothing but, like I was telling, it's a mechanism of continuous learning and improving from our mistakes. So Scrum is based on that. This image talks about that only, doing the things, inspecting and learning from mistakes and adapting. So closing the feedback loops. This is team level events and this is retrospective. So all together, it is closing the loops.
So, Pratibha, let me add few more points to that.
Sure, Sharath.
See, with respect to retrospective, right, what we do in retrospective usually, we try to understand what went well in the last sprint, right, what did not go well, and any improvement areas, right? So that is where team members need to be transparent with respect to what they have done, better in that sprint, right? What are the pitfalls or the blockers that are stopping them from doing great things, and any action items. So people are transparent people need to be transparent with respect to their engagement in those sprint, right? And they inspect in the retrospective, right? What went well, what did not go well, any improvement areas. That is nothing but inspection of what they have done in the past, right? And adapt to the new situations or new areas or new action items. Say, for example, out of the retrospective, you got some action item. Say, for example, the application has a lot of technical debt. Why can't we address the technical debt in a phased way? Or we got some infra issues where the infra team is not supporting. Can we inform them in advance as per their SLAs so that our issues will get resolved on time, right? So these are the kind of action items that you get where you need to get adapt to those situations, right? Plan it accordingly and ensure that you are not making those kind of mistakes or those kind of issues are fixed for the future, right? That's how you can make a better retrospective, right? So that is all about inducing that TIA concept, transparency, inspect, and adapt concept into the retrospective. Does it help you?
Yes, Sharad. I have one question addition to that. So basically, we always do a retro after every sprint, and somehow we have a list of things to be the list of improvement points for the next release. But generally that doesn't happen. I mean, we everybody in the Scrum team want to adopt the new change, or we want to improve. But is there a framework or something which will ensure that we improve, learn and improve continuously? Hope you got my question.
It happens. It depends. Like from team to team, things vary, and from company to company, things vary. So generally, Scrum Master they facilitate the retrospective, and they create, like you were telling, all improvement items. As I said, it depends from team to team. Things may vary, but where that retrospective is being held effectively, and the output, like after discussing all the improvements we are implementing, that is definitely going to create the change. And retrospective is nothing but, if without retrospective, Scrum is not that effective. So retrospective is the one which is closing the feedback loop and creating that improvements. Depends from team to team, Shubha.
So to add to her point, yeah, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so to adding to Pratibha's point, so basically the action items, we need to make sure that those are quantifiable. So if we can measure those action points or the implementation points, we have the sprint zero. Right before the work starts, there is a zero or a gray week that we call, and we try to cover all those action points in that particular week or a particular sprint. And that adds to every, if there is something that went wrong from the product owners, then we add that point to the product owner, and vice versa for the developer or the tester. And if it actually depends on the team, that we need to make sure that we are achieving that particular point, and we can also add a user story for that particular action item, and we can close that user story by the end of that week, if I'm making sense.
Yes,
I agree. So best way to handle those sort of action item is to keep things in the backlog, and Scrum Master has to ensure that those action items have been worked on and it has been completed within the whatever time you have.
Any other questions, anyone? Satish, how much time is left out?
We have 45 minutes more now for the next session. 9 o'clock is the next session. 8:15.
For this session, I think another 15 minutes is left out. Right?
Another 15 minutes is there, yes. Yeah. Till 8:30. Yeah. So any questions or any generic points someone want to discuss?
Yeah. So before someone grabs some questions, right? I just want to share a couple of things. Let me know if once everyone can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone can hear and see my screen, right?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So usually there is one report published by State of Agile every half yearly or every yearly. They publish this report every year. Sorry. Usually this report is also a little bit useful for the people who want to understand how Agile is implemented across the organizations. Okay. So this is one of the report which is freely available in internet. So you can download it freely, right? I just want to take a couple of minutes to give a gist of it so that you guys can understand how you can utilize this, right? Pratibha, will that be okay? Or you want to share anything from your side?
No, you can share, Sharad.
Okay. So this is how the report looks like. And they cover a number of areas with respect to how the agile adoption is going across the organizations, across the globe, right? What are the challenges that people are facing? What are the maturity levels? And in terms of scaling agile, what are the different scaled agile frameworks that they are, across the organizations people are following? What are the best tools that they are using? And with respect to DevOps, how they are implementing, what are the critical areas they are doing? Recently, I think they have introduced this value stream management also. So let's try to go to this, which gives us very good insights, right? And they also mention what are the kind of samples that they are taking in terms of getting this kind of opinion or information from people, right? Here, you can see here, inconsistent. They tell about the survey shows no fewer than 10 barriers to adoption. They are discussing here about the barriers. Suppose you want to, if any XYZ person want to implement agile in their organization, what are the general barriers that he or she come across, right? Inconsistencies in processes and practices. Probably teams might not be following all, unified processes, because of which they are not able to understand how they are progressing. Probably their maturity levels are not that much tracked, right? And in terms of agile practices also, each team might be following different set of practices, right? Because of which they might be able to, they are becoming as a blockers, right? Then cultural clashes, which you all know, right? Then organizational resistance to change. This is one of the main factors which everyone is aware or should be aware, because most of the time when we go across the organizations looking for different projects, right? This is how you see that people inherited resistance. And of course, as a scrum master or a coach, you should be aware how to overcome that resistance, right? Those are all separate topics, and we'll cover in the upcoming, our sessions, our SS Agile Gurus sessions. We'll cover all those areas. But just want to give a gist about this, report. And earlier, Pratibha was sharing how it is implemented, how many are practicing, how many are not practicing, right? Company-wide, it gives some statistics also, right? And in which sector it is widely implemented, right? If you see here, software development, it's predominantly implemented as of today. And then IT, then operations, marketing, security, right? So Agile is not limited to software development alone, right? Which everyone might have understood by now. If everyone don't know, if some people don't know, they have to realize that nowadays, apart from software development, they are implementing it in HR, supply chain, finance, retail, right, pharma, a lot of areas, but they are implementing in pockets. Like Agile used to make its footprint in early 2000s. Now it is at a different level in software development. Rest of the organizations or domains or sectors also, trying to adapt to these Agile ways of working in their best own ways, right? So if someone says, what is the future of agility? Can I get some good career over there? Can I get some good, opportunity over there? This is what it shows, right? It has wide range of adaptability that can be seen across the industry, right? That is what this report says, right? And in terms of agile adoption, what are the key areas that is helping them to leverage that, right? It says, enhance ability to manage changing priorities. Right? That is what Agile is all about. Accelerated software delivery, then set of other parameters, right? That is what you can see, right? This also talks more or less the same. Here it's saying now organization measure of success of Agile transformation. How you ensure that your transformation is successful. First thing is customer satisfaction. How the customers are, appreciating or saying that your product is creating value for them, right? It's all about customer satisfaction through CSAT service, right? Or through, there is one more thing, right? CSAT and Satish, can you recollect any other survey? I forgot that. It's not coming in my brain. But anyways, second thing is business value, right? And how on-time delivery, a lot of other metrics, right? Then with respect to agile adoption, which we already discussed, challenges, and it also talks about, yeah, this one which Pratibha was covering earlier, in terms of adoption, how organizations are adopting across the globe, right? That metrics also it will show. And it talks more about practices. What are the top 5 or top 10 practices or ceremonies that are helping you to achieve your goals, right? The top ceremony is daily stand-up, followed by retrospectives and other events, right? And on the right side, you can see what are the top tools, agile delivery tools that you can use, followed by the rest of the tools. You can see Kanban board, dashboard, spreadsheet, right? Any other project management tools, right? So it shows about the tool maturity. And in terms of scale design, right? What is the maturity? What organizations are using the best adopted scale framework, right? Here you can see followed by Scrum, DAD, Nexus, and whatever. At least you will come to know these are the scaled frameworks, right? That knowledge will increase, right? So then about tools, what are the top tools that you're using? Jira is in the front place, right? Then digital AI and Azure DevOps is also playing a pivotal role. Then Trello, Jira line. Then we have Rally also. I don't know why it's not mentioned here for some reason. But
it's there, Sharath, the fourth one, Broadcom.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. My bad. Yeah, it's a fourth one, Broadcom Rally. So in terms of tool, what are the best tools that are used across the industry? You'll get a better view, right? And in terms of DevOps initiatives, how many are following, how many are not following, right? What are the best practices in DevOps and how it helps them, right? That also it shows. Earlier in their report, they used to share about the engineering practices also, but I think now they have replaced that with this value stream management. If you look at their old reports, you'll come to know with respect to the engineering practices. So this is one-stop shop where you can showcase to your entire global audience, like, hey, if someone asks like how Agile works, how it makes it footprint in your projects or across the globe, you can refer to this document. Okay. So this is my 2 cents, which I thought of sharing with you as we got some time. Any questions, anyone here?
Sharad, this is Akash. I have one. Hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to understand. See, I'm not able to get the concept of agile DevOps whenever you get into agile coaches, right? And why this DevOps is coming along with agile trainings or agile way of working. So if you can give some insight, that would.
Yeah, I'll try to make it very, very simple. See, to execute development or design or testing with respect to a particular product, you need agility over there, right? That is what you and me aware, so that people can try to develop in iterations and try to develop products as faster as possible. We are not saying a waterfall, we used to execute a project in 6 months. You are transferring or transforming to agile will complete in 2 months, 3 months. We're not saying that. We are saying that we'll try to execute things as early as possible and a comparative to waterfall model and executing this Scrum or Kanban, whatever effective agile model. We are trying to make things much faster. That is one thing. And second thing is increasing our internal abilities, right? Maybe cross-functional capabilities or upskilling as needed, trending, working according to the market trends and all, right? We'll try to improve our capabilities and try to deliver at the earliest. This is what is all about agility. But even though you are working within the time frame and trying to execute things, unless you have a seamless delivery pipeline in place, which is chapter B, right? DevOps. Unless you have a seamless pipeline in place, how you should be able to go to market at the earliest? You might be doing some manual deployments or manual things over there, which might not effectively work. Right? So that is how where the DevOps came into picture, right? in terms of ensuring that you have the right tools in place and ensuring that you are implementing that CI/CD and ensuring that your product is reaching out to the market at the earliest. So that is how you connect both Agile and DevOps.
Okay. Thank you,
Someone
Sharat.
wants to add any points? I think we have Arijit here. You can give maybe a better explanation than that.
No, I think you covered it absolutely brilliantly. Huh? So it's look, at the end of the day, if we are trying to design things and bring in an agile mindset, culture, and all that stuff, the reason why, see, in the classical method, I can't recall who asked this question, but I'll tell you, in the classical method, we had a development team working separately, and then there would be an operations team who will come and maintain that for the next, let's say, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Yeah. So, and in the classical method, you would have followed the ITIL methodology. Yeah. So the operations team would follow, would do the incident management, problem management, change management, etc. And that if it is a major release, then the development teams will come in. But clearly, the operations team would have very less or negligible attachment with the code. So they will manage the users, password resets, maybe do a bit of bug fixing through the third level, etc. Yeah, here what they're saying is that, maybe there will be a operations team which is supporting larger user community. Yeah? But when you're at a development cycle, let's imagine today you have developed a portion of it and you have a set of users who have started using it. Now, there might be some bugs that is there. Yeah. So that bug again comes back to the development team. So dev and ops, they are working as a part of same team. That's the concept that really has come up with really DevOps. Yeah. If I'm able to explain it in a simple manner. Yeah. And that is where what happens is you will find that your DevOps team is basically who, you will have, let's say, a product manager or a product manager. Yeah? Then there will be a Scrum master. And so a Scrum master is, let's really very close to a project manager, but in a classical project manager, a project manager was looking purely into project timelines, schedule, cost, effort, and all that stuff. Here, the Scrum master is looking into their teams, the working together of teams. Even if they're failing, encouraging them to work in the next cycle, etc. Yeah, there are what is ceremony. Ceremonies is something that you celebrate together, right? So, for example, in the morning, early morning, you'll go and have a 5-minute stand-up meeting. So assume that it's a ceremony. It's coming together, doing a bit of a brainstorming, thinking, who's doing what today. Then there can be several types of ceremonies. Now, with that, there are, let's say, there can be an architect in that team. There can be a few developers, there can be a tester, and then there can be, let's say, a quality analyst. Maybe, there will be some shared resources, like, let's say, a security guy could be a shared resource across the organization, or several Scrum teams, etc. Yeah? But here, they today assume that they are mandated to create, let's say, one screen, just as an example. Yeah. When they were doing a screen, they had delivered something, let's say, last week. Over there, there was an error. So let's say there was a database crash or whatever. Yeah. Now that database crash, in the reality, what happens is, had it been a classical maintenance and operations team separate, then it would have gone to the operations team. The operations team would have created a ticket, logged in, checked, and then they would have come to the third level. Yeah. Here also, maybe there is a ticketing system. So somebody logs in that, because the user does not know that there's a database crash. Yeah? The user knows it's not working. Somebody has analyzed a level 1 or a 1.5 level service desk has analyzed and said, boss, your database ka problem. And then what do? They will then send it. So it was a non-backlog element. Imagine, yeah. And a sprint works in all backlogs. Yeah. What is a backlog? This is what I am supposed to do, and I will clear my backlog. So this operational work will come and sit as a part of my backlog, right? And then depending upon if it is a priority 1, so let's say the CEO of the organization can't do something, it's priority 1. So this team, the Scrum team, will leave everything and resolve that operational priority one as a ticket because it has an impact on the organization. As example, yeah, maybe may not be the absolute correct example, but I hope I've been able to give some situation.
Yeah, thank you, Arijit. If I have one more follow-up question to it, but if we want, we can take it up later as well. Just wanted to see. So, in that case, do you think the agile coaches should understand the DevOps as well? Because if we are talking about improving the process and hitting the market early, so do you think they should be aware of DevOps and their practices?
Okay, I will take it a step backward. I'm almost nearing 50 years of age. Okay?
Arijit, sorry to interrupt you. Just want to make a quick announcement. First of all, thanks Pratibha for the great session, and we got dinner break now. People want to move ahead for dinner can go ahead, and we'll keep these discussions going on. Okay. Please, Arijit, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So in the classical old days, I come from a COBOL, Kix, DB2 kind of development. Yeah. In those days, development was waterfall. As if you are building a building. Yeah? So you do the entire design, then proofread it, then you do the development, then you do the test, integration test, then you release, and that's how project. Yeah. Over the years, imagine not only conceptually, what has happened in the last, let's say, 20, 30 years is a lot of things have become automated. So let's say, in the last 1990s or 2000 when I started, we used to write, thousands of lines of code in COBOL. Right now, you can't even imagine somebody sitting and writing or even reading 1,000 lines of code as example, yeah, or million of lines of code. Yeah, if you would have extracted a COBOL program, you would have found some million lines of code, right? Today, what has happened? You have become very user-friendly. So you are creating storyboards, story points, yeah? And there are several automation tools that have come in. It is also an era where, earlier you would have heard a lot of expertise is required in topics like C++, algorithms using C++, yeah, data structures, yeah. Right now, even if you don't know C++, there are advanced, let's say, topics like Python and God knows all those snake, Cobra, Shobra, and all that they're coming. But the idea is, I may be wrong with the names, yeah, but they are far more advanced setup. So even if you are not a technical savvy or a engineering guy, you can still write the code because it's very user friendly. You use your logic, right? You can create your own website nowadays. Yeah, earlier you would employ maybe a 10 people team. Yeah? Similarly, the concept of agile in a development world, it will always help if, at least an understanding of, how the DevOps topics work together with agile, it will help each other. Now, from a classical, the iteration mode to a DevOps mode, I will tell you, when in my classical waterfall method, I used to work on one project, and that project used to have sub-projects, yeah, sub-deliverables, okay? In an agile mode, you will have, let's say, releases as example, maybe 4 releases in a quarter or 4 releases in a month or 2 months, etc. Yeah? If you have actually automated the entire life cycle, as example, yeah, starting from your build, test, release, deploy, operate, everything. Today, the customer is demanding and saying that you bring multiple releases even per day. Why is that? Imagine your real life scenarios. Let's say a customer like Toyota, Tata Motors. Let's be in India. Yeah? They want to implement connected vehicles, right? So you are able to see, let's say, the pressure of the tire as you are driving. Yeah. Now somebody else, a competitor of Tata Motors, builds up something else that it gives a beep sound. If, let's say, your tire pressure was 30, whatever, if it goes below 28, it gives a beep sound. Now just be imaginative. Yeah, this is not there. Be imaginative. Let's say Toyota has done that. Tata will want to succeed, as an example, to get into the same marketplace, and they will want the DevOps team to step in and getting into a fast release mode. They will release it, and then they will let's say upgrade it. They will then link it up to your web tool, to your mobile, to God knows, to your watch, everything. Yeah, this is the pace at which people are releasing softwares. So I think, coming to your straight question, it always helps if there is an agile guru who understands the DevOps portion. Now remember, the DevOps tool sets may be purely into IT. It doesn't matter. He or she may not understand the intricacies of all ITs. It's not possible, because every day things are changing. Yeah, but I think a correlation does help. Yeah? Sorry, it was a straight question, and I took a lot of time to answer this.
No, that makes sense, and thank you very much, Arjit, for explaining it very well. Thank you very much. That helps.
Yeah, and thanks, Akash, for bringing up that question. Just to add on the point.
To add one more point. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, Yoga, go ahead.
No, it's a very simple thing. As he mentioned earlier, that operation ticket was there. When DevOps team is part of that agile ceremonies, it is easy to bring up and easy to resolve. That is one. And second is, as the agile is also used from DevOps point of view, DevOps team's point of view, to build the pipeline to get better and better. It is not like, we can start everything in one scratch. So because developers are all writing the code and putting it into one thing, DevOps team needs to take it up and, will build it as a path. So when they are as a part, they are also improve, what are the items that you people are continuously working. So I, as a DevOps team, I'll come over there and, I'll automate for you. So, if both are synced together, it'll be a little easier to deliver. So that's what I want to try.
Sure. Thanks, Yoga, for adding the point. So, Akash, just to give a couple of more examples, like if we look at the e-commerce, like Amazon, Flipkart, BigBasket, or all these companies, so the e-commerce market, they don't go with the release cycles as such. They might be doing multiple deployments to production, making the offers, the deals, the discounts, new items into the production, into the market to us as the end users multiple times a day. So that's where having this DevOps and the automation, the full-fledged pipelines will be helpful. And to go back to your previous question, having that technical knowledge as an agile coach also helps. It's not a mandatory as such, but yes, definitely having that base, having that concepts, context of at least what's going on in how is our CI/CD pipeline going up, and how the release process is happening. And if we start with that, helps a lot. Now, what's happening is abroad, there are a lot of opportunities coming up for the technical coach. Now, we recently started observing even within India, few product-based companies, they started asking, we want a technical coach who can help the teams with the implementation, starting from the DevOps, CI/CD pipeline, the release process, cadence, and everything. With that perspective, it's definitely having that technical, the DevOps concepts context as an agile coach also helps.
Okay, thank you, Satish, and thank you, Yoga, for your inputs as well. Thank you very much. That helps.
Okay, thanks everyone, and it's a nice discussion. Let's our next session is scheduled at 9 o'clock. Feel free to take a break, have a dinner, come back, or we will have our breakout rooms open. You can discuss among yourselves and be back by 9 o'clock.
Yeah, thank you. We'll have dinner and then come back.
Sure. Thank you. Hello all, welcome back.
Hello, Satish and Sharat.
Yes, Satish.
We have Seshadri in the session. The floor is all yours.
Seshadri sir, you are there, no?
I am there in the call. I just came having a quick because talking about change way, Okay, just give me a minute. Let me turn on the other light.
Sure.
Great, sir.
Yes, when we are talking about change and change related things, right? Your internal energy starts reducing.
Because change is difficult to digest.
Yes. And you should enhance the digesting process right now. That's the whole idea.
Exactly.
People are coming with full tummy, right? So
and that's the whole idea. Now, when everybody comes with full tummy, then everybody becomes an expert in yoga So if I'm going to do change management there, can you imagine my level of challenge?
So you got the right challenge.
And even more difficult is when we are talking about changes and those people say that, oh God, when is this change going to complete? As if change is the only thing which is there. So all said and done, I need to accommodate to all of these kind of transients, right? So how are we going to ensure that we wade into the waters, difficult waters, turbulent waters, but still ensure that we try to make it as easy as possible to accommodate to the altering environments. Is all about change management in my humble way of looking at things.
Yeah, yeah.
And one thing what I would like to say is, after I have heard the sessions of Pratibha and Sundar and the introductions by Sharad and Satish, personally I feel I know nothing. Seriously, now I'm really.
That's your greatness, sir. That's how great people start their,
I'm really wondering how are we going to make an inch of a difference in change, because Pratibha and Yoga Sundar spoke so well. They spoke about Scrum and she spoke about enhancing Scrum, and you were giving some pointers, and there were a couple of people here, including Sampath and others, were giving some feedback. I am just wondering, I hope there are no rotten tomatoes or eggs there, so that I get bombarded there. Thankfully, it's an online webinar. Okay. So in the first place, before we get into the specific details, let me thank Satish ji, Sharad ji, and all the other convening members of this Agile Gurus who have given a small opportunity to a very, very humble fry like me to help understand and learn what agility is all about, because there are many, many very, very knowledgeable people in this entire forum. I will just try to share whatever I have understood in the entire forum, because my way of looking at things is very, very short-sighted. So I'll just share my short sights on how things are and how we can make a difference in the entire forum and presentation called Life. So with this, I would like to share my screen. Let me see how I can share the screen here. What do I need to do to share my screen?
You can use the share screen option, like green color arrow.
Oh, okay, great. Share. Is my screen visible now?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, let me now try to hide this window, or let me minimize this window. Okay. By the way, so before I begin, let me wish everybody a good morning, good evening, and good night, and more systematically a good morning. I don't hear any noise, sound anywhere, man.
Hey, good morning, man.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
You know the reason why I wanted to choose good morning when it is more or less a handover from the sun towards the lunar constellation? Any idea? Anyone? Why did I wish a good morning when I know for a fact that from the solar constellation, the takeover has happened towards the lunar constellation? There's a reason. This is something which I have learned from my earlier coaches and mentors. They told, if you step into this once upon a time, not once upon a time, they are one of the leading pioneers. I should not say, the words are very small. This company called Toyota. You've all heard of it, right? Toyota.
Yeah.
Okay. You go into the factory at any time in the day. You go there at 8 p.m., 8 a.m., 9 p.m., 9 a.m. Anytime they come and wish you, they'll wish you good morning. In fact, the sizing members of the team, the key members of Scrum Alliance who founded them, or maybe even Lean pioneers, and by the way, Toyota is one of the leading members in Lean. Toyota and G are founding members of Lean and Agile principles. For all those who are aware or not aware of it, I just like to reiterate. They went and checked, and when they asked, why are you wishing us a good morning? They told, Array, good morning is nothing to do with sunrise or sunset. Let us split the words. It is good, more, earning. So I wish you a good morning because I want you to have more earning. Earning can be in terms of money, earning can be in terms of knowledge, earning can be in terms of anything you term good, legal, and something which we all profit to understand and carry home once the discussion is over. So when I say good morning, it's that I wish you so much of goodness that the circle of goodness itself will repeat and it comes back to me. This is what we call in the doctrine of karma, right? As we so social you read. So I'm not going to get into the details of Navagrahas and how the constellations and how the other planetary aspects are involved, because there is far too much of agility in the entire scope there. And 45 minutes of time is by and large too less for us to talk about it. However, we will try to force fit or try to transfit whatever we have understood the entire sequence of agility to ensure that we embrace something called as change for a progressive future. The reason being, if I resist change, the divinity of change is not going to listen, because time, tide, and gender, neuter, masculine, feminine, wait for no person. It just carries on. It just moves on. You like it, you don't like it, it's just not bothered. It has to happen, I have to move on. So with that introduction in mind, it is now time to free ourselves from a traditional mindset to think that I know everything towards a newer energy paradigm, which says, let us learn. Are we all now in alignment before we get to the next slide?
Yes, sir.
Please let me know if you're all feeling very dull and bored about this.
No, sir. Please go ahead.
We are good to go.
Good. So let's now enter into understanding what is this whole thing all about. From a lone ranger in the front, they say that I have won the race. Fine. So what? To see the next team, the perennial winning team, we have won the race. There's a world of a difference, right? From I to we. This I is good. I've been a good contributor. I'm an individual role player. All of it is fine. But from a leadership vantage point, this I as a term does not really impress too much upon the key decision makers, because it's good that you have done, but how many of the people have below you have you taken forward so that when the next initiative organizations to entrust the next set of responsibilities to you, you're still doing the same old thing which we have been doing 20 years on back. So that delta is all about understanding how I can transition, adopt, and eventually transform myself from that lone ranger in the front to this perennial winning team, with which the I is also included. I am part of the team. The team includes I. I am part. It is a mutually existent consistent, whereas I and I are just singular, exclusive terms. A team is a group, and it also includes that I. Fair enough? Yes. So this is what I want to talk about, that I cube E cube factor, where we have all genes inclined to overcome the I factor. See, talk about any of the knowledge elimination aspects of the great scriptures. It always says, give yourself the last place, which means to say that put your ego behind. If you put that ego in Sanskrita, it is also known as the aham bhava. I am the person, I can control. Sorry, not even a speck of dust can be controlled by myself. I cannot control when I can drink water. It is the thirst that manifests. I cannot control when I feel thirsty. It's a self-organized immune system in the body, which means to say that when we talk about a term called self-organization, the automatic entity of the term called agile is inbuilt in the human system. Because the self-organization is there in the human system, or in any creation of a lively system, the system becomes agile. Right? So now let's get back here. All genes inclined to overcome the I factor, the ahambhava factor, thereby lessening the ego factor of an individual entity towards, let us understand the gravitating here. All goals to involve. You need to involve a person, imbibe, take home the principle and incorporate. Ensure that you follow it religiously in your life, whether I sit, stand, or breathe or drink water or do whatever is something in my life, unless I start practicing it, you will find it extremely difficult to practice this aspect in your workplaces and in office places. It is my humble opinion that what you practice at home manifests itself in some form or the other in the office. It has to, because we humans are not programmed like robots to act in different situations differently. There is always that inner thought which will manifest itself in some time. So it always pays to understand what is a good point of it, so that if there is something good I learn at home, I take it to the office. There is a saying in English, right? What manifests itself in the cradle will manifest itself until the last second in the graveyard. So that delta, it could be less, it could be more, but that increment will always be there. So if it is good, let us try to take it. If it is not so good, let us try to drop it. It's like technical debt. We try to refactor our lives, and till such time life is there, let us try to refactor our backlog, so that when I am seeing a different backlog, that backlog as such becomes clean and clear. Is this approach clear, or do you think somewhere we need to put the brakes? Or is it too light a topic post dinner?
We got a clearance from participants.
Participants will have to tell me. Participants are our customers.
Yes, that's what I mentioned, sir. In the chat, we got the clearance.
King is king, customer is king. All fine?
Yes. Yes.
Great. Something good? Fair enough. If you feel it is good, I am happy. It's a look, I'm going to talk about this concept of chain reaction here, because then and there itself I take feedback. It's not about taking feedback. It is about understanding customer collaboration over a contract negotiation, where I get into a judgmental thought that Seshadri is going to talk about something in change. But then we talk about this change, then we are actually incorporating line item 2 of Agile Manifesto. And how do I get line manifesto? I try to bring in line item 1, individuals and interactions over processes and tools. I am trying to do this virtually, and Sharath and Satish and the team behind this are the facilitators who are enabling this process. So when we start doing that, processes and tools are facilitating the individuals and interactions. Right? Now let us see how the third line item comes into picture. Well, that's a quick snapshot about myself. By the way, for those of you who may be interested, this was my presentation done in the Scrum Alliance way back in 2017. You can just type it. You go to Scrum Alliance and just type this. You will be able to see the entire video presentation which I have given in Scrum Alliance. And in the interest of the entire knowledge Agile Gurus session, I thought it would make a good session for us to incorporate, share, and imbibe the thoughts. Because over time, even I myself would have forgotten what is this I cube, L cube factor. So let me try to understand, and I also learn, and I also try to give back to the session. That's about myself. I am working with one of the big 4 conglomerates, which is KPMG. I am actually an agile mentor and a scrum master for one of the oil and natural gas P&L considerations from the European and the Scandinavian geographies. And I have been doing all these kind of roles in the past as a PMO mentor, a coach, and a training facilitator for multiple topics, which would include project management professional, PMI's Agile certified practitioner. I've also facilitated some sessions on business requirements analysis, scheduling techniques, enterprise risk management, programming and portfolio governance and execution. And one of my key takeaways in the session is about the art of stakeholder engagement and not management, which will ensure a longevity in the line of business we are all executing. We'll understand that with time to come here. Okay. Now we are going to get into a very, very quick energizing activity. All of us, we need one sheet of paper, a pen or a pencil. Ready?
Give us 1 minute. Give us 1 minute, sir.
1 minute is your time box. 60 seconds. Five fingers. Right? 5 fingers. That's a palm of someone's hand. Let's not get into palmistry. Palmistry is different agile science altogether. I'm not going to talk about that here. Are all the 5 fingers of the hand equal?
No.
I think our hands will be a wonderful hand if all the 5 fingers are equal.
No. No.
Each finger represents different entities of the 5 forces of nature. The 5 forces are actually self-organizing entities of nature. The Bhumi or the earth, the Vayu or the wind, the Prithvi or the mountains, which is again a representation of Bhumi, the sky or Akasha, and Varuna or the water, and the existential limits, which is a continuum called as space. These 5 entities are self-organizing entities. Nobody can enforce any diktat. Nobody can try to dictate how it has to work. It will do its job. It will continue to be self-organized till such time its life is around. So when we talk about cross-functional self-organizing teams, it's already there in nature. That's a message. Okay. Okay. Right. So the message is very, very clear. Everyone has come into this universe. Everyone has come into this world with a different product backlog. Before I get into this product backlog story or whatever, everybody says that agile. What is this product backlog actually? What do I mean by product backlog? Anyone?
Laundry list of items that needs to be developed as part of that particular product.
Organization of requirements. Okay, it can be anything, right? PPIs, product backlog items, debt stories, bugs, defects, fixes, something which I think will do. Okay, basically it is nothing but your requirements charter, which is prioritized basis the time, right? Now, what do I mean by requirement? Can I talk about this fact that a requirement is nothing but a conditional clause set by any given customer which has an acceptable time frame for execution and which has a definite deliverable which time to come. Right? It's acceptable clause set by a customer which is definitely time bound, which has a definite measured outcome, and which has a measured deliverable. Can I all say that we were all created in this world because there was some requirement set by someone? I was created because there was a requirement which the Almighty felt. You are all created because of the requirements, right? So now, does this give an understanding that everybody, everyone in this team, every universe, living, non-living, anything and everything, right from the invisible plankton to the immeasurable measure of the entire entity which we call as Abhyaya or immeasurable, formless, shapeless. I'm not going to get into that. That's an entirely different concept as a line item of a product backlog. So anyone and everyone, anything and everything has a capacity to add to the adoption, transition, and transformation journey. This has to be somehow knit to ensure that everybody in the stakeholder community is benefited. It is just I'm just going back to slide number 2. It is not me. It is the entire winning team. Clear, friends? Yes, no, maybe?
Yep.
Or all of you in deep yoga?
Shabasa.
All fine?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the agenda. What is the obligation for transformation? Why should I transform myself? What is the dilemma? What do we mean by change? What are some common impediments? What do you call so much as an agile mindset? Now the next question that can run in your mind is, are we going to complete all of this within this time? We will see that. Don't worry. Let us try to prioritize, accept or drop whatever it is. Let us talk about this. This is the first PBI which we are going to talk about. This is a 9-dot iteration. Okay. There are 9 dots in this picture. I am going to write a user story. As a customer, I want my team to connect all the 9 dots using just 4 lines without lifting your hands off the paper. Acceptance criteria. No overwriting. No overlapping. And the measurement is the time box is 60 plus 60, which is 120 seconds. Your time starts Sorry. Your time starts now. 9:24 we'll freeze. Sharath, you're okay, right? Sharath and Satish.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I already started.
2 minutes. 2 minutes, sir. 120 seconds, sir. After that, customer is going to measure the deliverables. 9 dots, 4 lines without lifting the hands. No overdrawing. In the sense, a line once drawn should not be rewritten. That is unaccepted. Customer will reject a deliverable. He will put a penalty. All going well?
Yes, I'm able to do it.
Huh?
I'm able to do it.
Then you are a champion, man. Those who are able to do it should not tell the others how they have done it, because we need to first understand an individual psyche. Let them brainstorm, group discuss. We'll talk about the techniques of requirements analysis here.
So I need to touch all the dots, right? It can be any shape.
All the 9 dots without overlapping the lines. In other words, if I draw one line, I should not draw the other line again. No overwriting the line.
Yeah.
So what is the time? Oh, we are almost there. So when it is going to be 50, we will freeze the work. 33. We are nearing the hour. We are upping the hour. We'll give you time until 50. 8, 9, 10. Time's up. Time's up. Time's up. Time's up. You have to give your answer sheets. Otherwise, no scoring of papers, man. Let's get to the student mentality. Okay?
You can see.
Sorry, I am a bit old, man. I cannot see things.
Is it looking or looking blur for you?
I guess a very blurry paper.
It's a very blurry, Sharath.
We'll see that. Don't worry. We will evaluate the answers. Okay? So shall we see the steps? Some of the patterns. I'm sure our friends would have tried all these things. Yes, no? I did
all
all
these patterns go beyond 4 lines.
All of them tried this, right?
Yes.
Yes.
These are all requirements, correct? Shall we see the correct requirements? I told you that you connect 9 dots with 4 lines. That was my requirement. Did I put any restriction saying that the 2 extra dots at the periphery should not be created? Did I put a restriction or an incision on the extension point? I did not tell that. It's like telling.
But a small doubt.
Yes,
Don't
please.
we call this as a scope creep from the project management perspective?
Sorry?
We call it as a scope creep or goal
They
plating.
say that
Right?
you should not do this. I want my outcome. It has to be done. No overlapping of lines. Let us talk about scope creep later. My aim is to connect 4 dots. No, sorry, 9 dots. And beg, borrow, steal, I wanted it done. If the customer is putting these 9 dots in the system, running it, the potential shippable increment should be ready in production.
I would have asked a lot of questions and conditions behind when this, as part of the requirement, basically, rather than doing this.
But I'm coming to that. I know what the next questions will be. Yes. Let's dwell on this slide. It's a very important slide. Don't you think these are all valid problems? Valid challenges. I would not say problems. Don't you think these are all valid challenges? How many of them actually studied the problem? I'm sure many of us would have taken the paper and have dived into the situation. Come on, man, let's get this done and throw it out. How many of us actually sat down with a possible solution? I am sure 1 out of 10 would have done that, or 2 out of 10 would have done that. The actual scoring criteria when it was done by Harvard University was PhDs failed in this test. A second standard student actually did it within 10 seconds. What's the bottom line? Education ruins our thinking process. I would not say like that. Education not properly applied in the right direction kills the thinking. Why am I saying this? There was other day where a friend of mine was telling me that, Seshadri, you know what? I am applying for a job in a company. They are saying that the first acceptance criteria is you should have 25 lines of certification. I asked, what do you want to do? No. They are asking, the HR saying 25 lines of certification, sir. Otherwise, they won't consider my profile. I'm asking what kind of, no, they want 25 lines of certification. Are yaar, aapko kya chahiye? That is no, 25 lines. So you know what? Without actually understanding what you want in life, I'm just saying 25 lines of certification, this, that, ABC, BBC, CBC, BBC. The point is our focus tends to go elsewhere. When we were supposed to do something, we were gravitated elsewhere. And finally, we are having to apply Olympian force to bring us back to the parent consideration. Don't you think this is a perennial problem which we have faced at least one point in time? I have faced this multiple times. I'll be shameless. I'll be skinless. I'll be shameless here. I have done this problem multiple times. So I have actually written what I felt was the challenge. Don't you think all of us have been through this at least once in your lives? And many of us were telling that 2 dots were scope creep. They were actually outliers. But that was the actual solution to the pointer. In other words, that is a fine print. Hidden acceptance criteria. Read between lines. This is where we talk about something called as the out-of-the-box thinking pattern. See, the question is not just confined to that 9 dots. It is about understanding how are we actually addressing the problem. Are we just looking at requirements correct or correct requirements? That's the entire focus of the session. Are you all clear with this before we move on to the next slide?
Yep.
Yes, no? Sharad, Satish, others? Yes.
Yeah, great, sir. Let's move forward.
Great. Now this is my million rupee. Now today, rupee has assumed huge proportions of transaction, right? Gone are the days of MasterCard and Visa. Slowly they are diminishing because their timeline is over. Something has to come. That's how the Kala Chakra is rotating its way in the entire universe, right? They don't wait for anything. Something has to usher in change. It has to happen through some person, entity, or whatever. But the point is, it has to happen. Will technology transformation make my industry irrelevant? Very good question. Once upon a time, we were wondering, oh God, if I learn computers, what will happen to me? Can you tell me anything in this world which is not happening without a computer today? You get it? Will investment in R&D or correct investment in R&D? Why should I transform my business? This is how I've been doing business all these years. I was happy. My customers were happy. They really were fine with my outcomes. Why should I change today? How is it my competitors? He's not even a 6th standard guy. He does not even know what is a 10th standard, but he's able to provide solutions at such a low cost. What should I do? Is he going to sound my end? My customers are always happy with me, man. They will never question me. But when they see the competitor giving such fantastic features, such as a throwaway price, that's the end of it. My shop is headed for a shutdown. So will agile techniques make my position irrelevant? These are all so many questions which keep running. I've just put the top questions. The remaining acceptance criteria or the finer print is, if it is not broke, if it is perfectly fine, do something to ensure that it delivers better value. Don't say that I will do it. Just do it. Exactly, are we delivering what our customer wants, or are we trying to deliver what a customer wants? There's a fine difference, right? There's a difference between dealing with customers and customer dealings. Dealing with defense and defense dealings. English is a funny language, right? Dealing with defense and defense dealings, dealing with customers and customer dealings. Are we delivering value? If I'm not delivering value, probably the customer could be happy for 15 years. The 16th year, he'll put his resume in his Naukri. I'm done. After 16 years, where am I going to find another customer? I would have sunk so much of investment here, and it becomes extremely difficult for me to revamp myself. That is the challenge. And organizations bloated are now trying to revamp themselves, trying to ensure that they give economical solutions at a lower price, which is one point. Second thing is, how can I give value hanging at a low hanging price? Right? Before I get into this,
yep.
Are we fine with this?
Right. So
Yes.
nowadays, unicorns are really challenging the, big works, right? Top organizations.
Sorry, I didn't get you, sir.
Nowadays, unicorns.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm telling.
Yeah.
A chota mota, 5वीं targati ka pass nahi hua. He is coming and dictating my presence. Will I be existent tomorrow? You will not know how the change Deva will come in which form. Did he put an address saying that I will come only in this form? That is the greatness of change. Nobody knows when that change will happen. And the other diktat here is change is ordained by the Kala Chakra, and change as a factor is assured in our solar system because of the Navagrahas. They are only the agents of change. Actual change is decided elsewhere. They are only carrying out the orders based on our product backlogs, individual product backlogs. Okay, so now let's talk about the entire chakra from a Kala Chakra as manifestation of a smaller chakra. This is a wheel, right? What wheel is it? A cart wheel. By the way, what do we see there onto the next one? It's an undercarriage of an aircraft. It's a wheel, no? Can I put this cart wheel for the undercarriage of an aircraft? Will it be possible?
Maybe with the change.
No.
Will it serve the purpose? I'm putting a cart wheel. All that a customer wants is a wheel. Shall I put this cart wheel for the undercarriage of an aircraft?
No, it may not carry the load.
It will crash the customer system. And the customer is going to bring a big document called as the legal charter document, and then hefty fines are going to be there. That is where requirements correct versus correct requirements. Okay, fine. Chodo, let's not talk about the undercarriage of an aircraft. This is a glider. In the glider, can we put this cart wheel? So the message that is being given here is, just because it is serving the purpose of a wheel need not imply it is going to fit something that is similar to a wheel. We read about a topic called similar triangles way back in 6th standard or 7th standard. A similar triangle implies that the ratio of the two sides are similar. They have a number, but they are under no means identical. It's similar. It's just a wheel, but then the wheel need not fit the purpose for which it is created, right? So with this, let us next look at the next possibility. We were all very, very happy with this hurricane lamp once upon a time. Then Tesla, Edison, there's still a controversy going on. I'm not going to get into that. They came with this light bulb, tungsten filament bulb. Fantastic invention, right? The light bulb was a fantastic invention. Tell me, where all are we seeing this filament bulb today?
Very, very rare.
Why? It's giving light, right? We want light and it's giving light. The purpose is to give light, right?
You need a bright light.
With the cost of friendliness to the environment.
Now we do see the economies of scale coming into picture. Why do you think unicorns are propped up? Why do you think unicorns are mushroomed? It is somewhere to note that the budgets have started bleeding in organizations, that these people have seized the opportunity. Don't blame them. They have seen what is a plausible opportunity and they have entered. The deal should have that we should have arrested these changes. There came this filament bulb. Today, this neon filament bulb, is it there anywhere other than few places? We only see LED lamps. Why? It is a rule of change. It has to happen. And let's see the next picture. Alexander Graham Bell's Hello phone. Vintage phone. Where is this? Even central government offices do not have these phones. You all agree with me?
Right.
Yes.
EPABX. Next phone. EPAX facility. How many of us really completely have this facility now? EPABX facilities now. This phone, IP phone. Other than specific requirements, this phone is not used because there's a high carrier cost attached to a second phone. The third thing, I'm not going to say anything. All of us are fully aware of it. Tell me, who is not aware of the third phone? The transparent phone. Have you all heard of it? Guys?
At least not me.
Okay. That was a phone which was designed and released by Apple. It was called as a transparent phone. It was released as a prototype. And because it did not get much traction, they changed the prototype. So many people say that Apple. Someone, why not they talk about Mango? That we will see here. The change rule, we have spoken about this at length. Change is the only thing that is constant. It ruled, it shall rule, and it shall continue to rule. I came, I saw, I conquered, finished, deal over. And the rule of change is a perennial rule of time. No negotiations. It is like talking to a management or perhaps talking to the better sex. The rules are non-negotiable. Either I say yes or I agree. The third option doesn't exist. Fair enough? Have you ever tried to argue with the better sex? How many of us were able to negotiate? Hey guys, are we all awake? Sometimes I feel I'm talking to myself.
No, we are
No, we are all good.
Or if you are all, or at least we are all going to yoga, tell me, man.
Oh, we are here, enjoying it.
Okay, great. How many of us have actually tried to argue with the spouse community, and how many of them really succeeded? Look at point number 2, last line. No negotiations. I want it done. Learn that here, your office leadership discussions will be absolutely a breeze because there's no change. Change as a rule. First, you accept change willingly. I'm coming to that. You accept change willingly because willingness is always better. Unwillingness will create a lot of distress. Oh man, I'm supposed to listen to this person. You go home, you have to listen to the same person. At home, at office, can you argue? You better like it or you'll be forced to like it. Slowly imbibe the change and become a proponent. Change is always for the better because better things come in. Lack of acceptance to the fact that change is for the better is the biggest problem into the world. How many of people don't agree with this? Lack of
at least with this session, everyone will agree.
Sorry?
I think at least with this session, everyone will agree.
Oh, so this is session agnostic, is it? I didn't know that, man. So in the session, everybody will accept. After that, they'll go back to the old ages, is it? Don't tell that, man. Okay.
What I mean is change needs to be accepted everywhere.
Change has to be accepted. Do we really have a choice?
Yeah. Otherwise, things will perish.
Change will simply change you. You don't accept change, change will change you. It's as simple as that. Look at two entities. One is the person who is a change thinker, and look at the other person who is trying to avoid that change. He is what you call as a change resistor. And a change resistor, if I'm able to bring in a change evangelist, he is the person who is going to help catch dacoits and thieves because he was a thief himself previously. A hacker will be able to be the best person to help trap cyber piracy. How many of you accept or reject this?
Except. Yes.
Nobody else knows about the weakness of the system other than the hacker himself or herself. This is why we call it as ethical hacking. At least you teach me what are the pitfalls in my system. I'll foolproof my system, right? Converting the system. Now let us talk about the emotional intelligence factor. What are the changes? I was a vendor, man. I was just supplying people to my office staff. We called it as a very small term, body shopping. Sometimes they say it's a staff augmentation to a business partner, which is more likely a good term, right? You make it something what we call as a good feel-good factor. If I don't feel good about myself, how will I create an environment which is going to feel good, right? It is the second point is about from my profits to our profits. From my victory to our victory, the customers and we ourselves. And the third and the changes below, I'm sure we all agree. Those of you don't agree, please raise your hands here virtually. From a parent provider to an empty nester is a very, very painful change. Yes, no, maybe. Parent provider to an empty nester, right? Very, very painful change. But can you avoid that? Or baby eagles created only to be sitting in the nest? Even if the eagle is 15 feet tall? Will the baby eagle, which is 15 feet tall, now be able to sit in a nest? It's meant for something different. It is a lord of the skies. It has to cruise. So the point is the father eagle and the mother eagle cannot say that my baby eagle has flown away. That's a rule of life. It has to start its place in the circle called life. Have you all seen the Lion King? How many of us have not seen the Lion King?
I've seen it.
There was one term in which the father Mufasa spoke from the heavens. It says, Sumba, you have let me down. You should take up your place in the circle and the world called life. Your place is empty. You are defaulting by not doing your duties. Right or otherwise, you have to fight for it and take your circle in life in the place called life. That is what we talk about, a transformational change where I was a father, I become a father-in-law, a mother, a mother-in-law, a daughter to a daughter-in-law, and last but not the least. Yes, no, maybe. The whole deal from the last line is to ensure that if I am a son-in-law, I should not become a son outlaw. Otherwise, my spouse will neither forgive nor forget. Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah.
You all agree with me?
Yes.
Never ever become a son outlaw. Otherwise, your better half will neither forgive nor forget. You all agree with me?
Yes.
I'm seeing very low response, man. Dinner has made you all put you to yoga, is it?
You're all good, sir.
No, actually, sometimes you're putting in a spot.
The point is, I minimized my window so I cannot see who is actually talking. That's the whole point. And actually, Sampath is my business representative. So I can make out his voice, but the other voices I cannot represent. I cannot realize. That's why I'm having to rephrase the question again and again. Okay, now let's talk about some common impediments. The I factor. If I don't change, how can I bring in change? See, talk about this I starts growing to such Olympic proportions that it starts clouding and thinking that I am the ruler, I know everything. And the minute that thought process comes in, kalas, that's the end of story. Because there is something bigger than the I, which is I square. Right? They are your stakeholders, your existing business processes, your official practices, and the stakeholder, the customer mindsets, which need to alter, if not tomorrow, at least the day after tomorrow. Failing which, it's not going to launch. The vehicle is not going to, your aircraft is not going to take off the drawing board. How long can you keep on drawing aircraft? It has to launch somewhere, right? It cannot be a prototype forever. And that's exact. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. So sometimes compromising official personal discussion. Okay, if this requirement cannot be done now, at least let us get done this in iteration 2 or iteration 3. I can do that. Let us convince. Let us negotiate. It could be difficult because everybody says, I want everything every time at every instant. But humanly and mortal frame of time, it is not possible. So somewhere let us try to negotiate. And that's where how I am saying there's a small caption in which an astrologer, a palmist, went to a rich person's place and he saw his hand and says, oh man, everybody will die in your house. You'll be the person sitting all alone in your house. This guy went inside, took a broomstick and trashed the astrologer left, right, and sound, and he came running out. Then he saw a court minister coming, and this court minister asked him, why are you running? That man is hitting me with his broomstick. He asked, what happened? He says, I showed his hand, I told him the truth. And in his ministry, you are such a big buddhu man. Tell the truth, but make it pleasant. The next day, he says, do this. He disguised himself as another very learned person and he says, what a wonderful astrology and horoscope you have. You will be the longest one to live in your family. And then, oh man, yesterday he used a wretched term. No, forget this. Why use inauspicious words? I will give you 100 gold coins. Go have a nice time. So the way you say and the way you communicate and the way you deliver and the way I say yes, the way I say no, have a lot of semblance in what I'm going to deliver. It is not about language, it's about body language, it's all about the way I'm communicating. Let me take a pause here. I also need to take a breath. Are we all fine here until now?
That's true. I totally agree with. It all depends upon how we are conveying the same message, but the way we use the words, the way we frame the sentences. Yes,
I
it
hope
all
it is
matters.
a very boring session, by the way.
Not at all.
Not at all. I'm taking.
Can I contradict to the other the before statement, saying that the first person, the palmist, has given a reply which is very much clear in thoughts. The person who's receiving it. The second person, he twisted. I understand the outcome was same. The person who's receiving it is a bit confused. He didn't even understand, his family would leave him early. So
I'll give you the answer, Sampath. The first person in basic English from Brennan Martin told in active voice. The second instance, he told in passive voice. Katham.
But isn't it the person who's receiving at the receiving end? He didn't get it properly.
That is exactly the challenge. I'm coming to that topic here. Communication. Did you see that? I'm coming to that. That's exactly this topic is all about. The manager's metamorphosis before becoming a leader. So 85 to 90% of the time we are communicating. In fact, communications are there. Right now we are communicating virtually, and communication is something that is inbred right from the time we are born till the time we leave this world. We are communicating in some form or the other. And what the whole point is all about, how are we communicating? Am I just connecting with you just to sell some godforsaken product, or do I really value your relationship? Do I really look at the problem statement from your perspective, or is it only from my think that the customer is wrong? To hell with the customer. Do I acknowledge my customer's discomfort, saying that no, he's invested so much of money? Let us try to reason out with him so that he does not feel the pain in his journey. The point here is I am not an expert, but I will definitely share the pain so that over time we will become experts, and as a period we will gain that adverb called expertise. When all of us win, the customer wins. When all of us lose, the customer is lose. The weakness of the chain is actually in the link, which is weak. So does it mean to say that the chain is faulty? No, it is that link which is weak. That's the reason where we say that teamwork, if one person in an agile project fails, the entire team collectively fails, because we did not spot that failure well in advance. And this change journey is tough, really tough. But when we are sharing hands, many hands make light work. Fair enough?
Yes.
Yes, we just got 5 minutes of our time to get done with this. What is a sharp head corollary? Have you all seen a sharp arrow anytime? Have you all seen a sharp arrow anytime? Yes, no?
Not in person, but in movies.
You have at least read about it, right?
Yes.
Have you seen a bullet train anytime? At least in pictures.
Yes.
A bullet train is actually traveling much greater than the speed of sound. So when it is actually, that speed of sound is what you call as a Mach number. I'm not going to get into the science of a Mach number. That's not the intent of the session. But when it is traveling at a huge Mach number, it creates what you call as a sonic boom, which is exactly the reason why the military aircraft takes off. It creates a huge sound, that it flies at 2.5 times the speed of sound or 3 times the speed of sound. So we call it as 3 Mach, 4 Mach or whatever. Now that being said and done, when it creates a sonic boom, your eardrums or the sensory hearing organs or the utilities perish. It bursts open. Do you know what nature has done to overcome this? Any idea? I just read about it today morning.
Is it the ear cannot take the frequency?
I'll tell you that. Have you all seen a humble door? Don't tell me. Have you heard of this word called kingfisher? No, I'm not talking about the convicted person there. Have you at least heard of the word called kingfisher?
Yes.
Okay. And the other birds fish, and the kingfisher fishes. Do you know how it fishes? I've shared this in my LinkedIn and in my Facebook. Please do subscribe and take a look at that. The kingfisher is the only bird which completely skyrockets deep into the water, finds its prey, and then shoots out. Because it has skyrockets quickly and comes out, it is able to overcome the turbulence of the fluid water around it, and it comes out with less effort. The same thing increases focus. If the acceptance criteria is clear enough, if the requirements are clear enough, the team will definitely be able to deliver more and more magic. I've seen high performing teams. They have achieved the impossible. Why? Did they do some mantra? No. They got clarity in what they did. And the minute I have clarity in what I'm doing, the outcome will definitely be obvious, because I know for what I'm talking, for what I'm doing. But if I do not know, I'm supposed to talk, so I'm talking, then that itself is a defeatist attitude. And if a defeatist attitude is encountered, will the outcome be ever clear?
No.
Will the outcome be clear if I'm encountering a defeatist attitude?
No.
Yes. Now let's look at this. We have a laser focused target. We have a bow. We have an arrow. Course correction. Let's look at Arjuna, the legendary warrior in the Mahabharata. Archery. Just aiming does not mean success. You have to aim at repeatability. What is the main focus of quality and repeatability? Generating multiple outcomes, having consistent value patterns is about ensuring that high performance teams deliver high value consistently, sequentially, and sustainably over a long period of time. Value delivered in one iteration is fine, but have they been able to deliver value over 10 or 15 iterations consistently? That is an indicator of success. So what is that mantra? That we will see. How many of you disagree with this or agree with this? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
Yes.
The practice session and the failures are actually the retrospectives. Okay. Let us actually close this session with a very, very small analogy. What is the item on the left? Godrej Navtal. What is that?
Lock.
What is the one on the right side?
Hammer.
Hammer. You call that Hatoda, right?
Yes.
Hatoda. Okay. There was an argument between the hammer and key. The hammer says, you know how powerful I am. I can break the strongest of Navtal Godrej locks. Talk about durable, safer locks, vaults, whatever. I can just break through like anything. I'm made of the best quality of forged steel. Do you know that? But I'm having an element of doubt. You are such a puny guy. How is it you are able to break a lock? The key laughed and told the hammer, you break open a lock, man. I touch the heart of the lock. The lock opens up for itself. Okay. The hammer then replied, It is good to touch the heart, man. But there are some logs which don't open even after they are touched because they are too rusted. So the only way for me to is to break open that log and touching the heart, telling this once, telling this twice, thrice is fine. But when the telling this multiple times is not working, then I have to use a punitive action. This in our Samskrita we call as Sama, Dana, Beda, Danda. Right? So it's about using the right techniques to solve the right problems to ensure that the livability and success is actually maintained and seen consistently. These are my URLs for social media connects. That's my YouTube channel. I speak regularly on project management and success of agile projects. So I am done with this. So if you have any specific measured questions, please consider this as a time to clarify. Whatever little I know, I will share. Hello.
We're all here.
You're all there. Great. Great. Thank you.
And we could see the comments like the participants are loving the session. And
I've not seen anything, sir.
In the comments section, sir. Yes. You can see that.
Great, man. I have not seen anything until now.
Yes, so, we are following. We are following.
So working without the results. I have not seen the results. I'm just showing karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana right now. By the way, this was a session which I presented in Scrum Alliance and it actually received very good appreciation from the participants. There were around 2,500 or 3,000 people in the session then. I never thought my session would be that big seriously at that point in time. In fact, I thought I knew nothing. Even now I am in the same situation only. That's a different story.
But actually, great session, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're so kind as usual, Sharad and Satish. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Anyone has any questions? IST hours, I think people already got time. EST hours, I think they might be active and they might ask some questions.
I'll copy my URLs here. So those of you who really want to connect or something like that, this will be your first hand. Will that be okay, Sharadji?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah, if no one has any questions, I think this marks the end of our first Agile Meet annual meetup. So please stay in touch with us. We have WhatsApp groups, we have Telegram groups, right? Whichever is convenient for you folks, try to join there, collaborate among ourselves. Let's try to share something that is meaningful to the community and get yourself engaged, right? That is what we request from SS Agile Gurus. Be active in the community wherever you are. Help others and help yourself. One day it will also help you, right? That is the message which we want to.
Milestone statement.
Yeah.
Milestone statement.
Which you want to share with all of you. Thanks everyone once again for joining these sessions, and have a great day. Thanks to Seshadri sir for the valuable session.
Thank you so much.
And we are planning to organize these kind of sessions much more moving forward. Okay. Thanks everyone. Have a great day.
Have a wonderful weekend, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, so everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, folks. Thank you.
Wow. Sir, wonderful session, sir.